Movie, and this is week 4 of our 13 weeks of Halloween, and I'm really excited. We're going to talk about a really fun one today. I've got some very special guests for you. We got Jay Bond from Bloodbath TV and Kim DOUTHIT. I think I pronounced your name wrong every time.
Well, it's okay.
Got it. There we go. And Strange Monkey. You guys want to introduce yourselves, talk about what you do?
Oh, God. Somebody else start.
Pressure.
I'm Jay Bond. I do a bunch of different horror stuff across various YouTube channels. Bloodbath TV is my kind of like go-to one. A lot of people probably know me from Bloodbath and Beyond. But I talk about stuff that most people don't talk about a lot of the time.
I'm Kim.
Go ahead.
I talk about horror films at Crypticon. I teach classes to teenagers about horror films. I podcast on murder and the paranormal, and also teach classes sometimes on murder and the paranormal. And lots of things that are creepy. That's kind of my jam. So I'm excited.
I'm Strange Monkey. I do a lot of horror movie reviews, voice impressions, top 5 countdowns. It's lots of horror-related content.
Awesome. All right, so I've invited you guys here today because you're very special, all right? You're very special people because not everybody appreciates this section of the Scream Halloween set, all right? This is a special section with Part 6, H2O, Resurrection, and the Rob Zombie ones. You know, I think they're all wonderful because I just love me some Michael Myers. Mm-hmm. But this is one that, let's be honest, it gets a little less love. It tends to fall dead last for a lot of people. But I want to hear, because I picked you guys, because I know you guys have appreciation for, why do you like this movie?
I'll start. I like this. I genuinely like this because Busta Rhymes is a huge...
Yeah.
I love Busta Rhymes in this. And we'll get to that, I'm sure. I think he's awesome. I think the whole idea of... this is 2002. You have to think about it. You have to think about it in like back then. No one was doing live streams. Like the only people doing live streams was that guy that was like cutting off his feet for 50 grand. I don't know if you guys remember that. If you were, I'm older, so I don't know.
I'm older than you.
Well, okay. But like Twitch wasn't around. Live streaming wasn't really a thing. Like even reality TV in general was just kind of coming over the hump after Survivor and starting with Big Brother and stuff like that. So I think that mixing horror with found footage and live streaming and like having like the whole audience interaction and stuff, I think that's just like ahead of its time. And I don't think it gets enough credit straight up for that.
I'd agree with that. Like I'm an unapologetic found footage fan, and anything that goes into that kind of found footage documentary streaming is right up my alley. So I liked that they were playing with that in here. it's so much a product of its time period. And I think that the same way that we kind of adore the 70s and 80s and some of what came out of that, I think we have to sort of look at some of the early 2000s stuff and be like, listen, there was things going on then, and you have to look at it in that context. Also, was it like Trick or Treat motherfuckers or whatever? Like,
oh, I got you. Here, I'll get you some of that.
Trick or treat, motherfucker.
I love how he's all stumbling around and he's all like, yeah, I got this.
I mean, he's been messed up quite a bit at that point, so that's understandable.
we all were at that point.
That's how I'm going to enter every room for the rest of my life.
You're not
I
already,
basically
that's
do.
how I enter.
As you should. That's how everybody should enter.
Yeah, that's just a given. That's just, it doesn't matter how old anyone is. I walk in and I'm like, trick or treat, motherfuckers. So.
I love this. I also need to know what's on Jay's shirt. What do you love? What is it that you love?
Oh, God. I didn't really
God.
think this through.
Is it going to be big butts and you cannot lie?
Oh.
Goth.
Oh
I'm so not hip. I don't know what a goth is.
A goth thought?
Goth thoughts. Oh, like from your brain.
Yeah, let's just say that.
I feel like that's not true, but I'm also...
I'm like the old lady who doesn't know any of the hip stuff. I just recently learned what the thick means. Like, I was like, what's the thick thing on Jay's hat? Now I'm hip and I know.
Well, thick was like 5 years ago. This is
like,
old
that's-
school.
I'm like 5 years behind, okay?
That's fair.
I'm just now learning how to twerk.
Just say,
Oh my God.
maybe I love goth babes. Okay?
Oh, I got
We'll say
you.
that.
I got you.
That's fair. That's fair.
That's more appropriate.
All right, Strange Monkey, you're not getting out of this. So, also, I like your shirt, too. I see some skellies.
Yeah.
Skellies!
Nice.
So, appreciation for the resurrection, man.
Well, I watched it this afternoon for the first time in a while.
Wait, what?
And no, I haven't seen it in a while. That's what I was, I was
Okay.
watching it in preparation for this stream. Because it's been a while since I've watched it. Because I went through a period where I didn't like it. When I first saw it, I really enjoyed it because, like you guys were saying, they were doing things that other horror movies were not doing. The whole live stream thing, because back then, it's all about the internet. This is on the internet. We're going to the Myers house, and this is something that other Halloween films were not doing because the internet was still a new thing. We don't like it wasn't like how today we have access to the internet, like compared to how it was back then. So watching something online, going into a house that has a very bad reputation with all these people, and you got Michael Myers running around, like that's a pretty scary idea. But there's some good in this film, and that's what people have to realize.
One thing I will say about this movie, on a technical level, this isn't bad. The acting's fine. The story's fine. There are, like as someone just said in the chat, there are a lot worse movies. I think it's when you take a movie like Halloween, that is a landmark film. It's a milestone film. It's you can't top that. You're right. We're never gonna top Halloween, guys. Okay, it's number one on almost everyone's list for a reason. It's a masterpiece. Mm-hmm. And so when you take a movie like this and you're comparing it, like these are completely different movies, and it's really not fair to this movie. It's not. And I think what I love about this franchise is it's literally like a bag of candy. You've got your chocolate and you've got your taffies and you've got all kinds of different treats in here. And this is another unique little treat in the Halloween franchise. And I like to call this what kind of like what I do with Jason X. It's a beer and pizza movie. It's a movie you throw on in the background. You got buddies over. You guys are drinking. You're having fun. There's a couple little parts where you'll point at the screen and you laugh. It doesn't demand a lot of your attention. We got pretty dark with the last two because I'm going backwards with the Rob Zombie ones. They get pretty dark. He doesn't want you to be having a good time. He's really challenging you to experience these tragedies. This movie doesn't even care if you're paying attention. It just wants you to have fun. It just wants to be at the party with you. And I love it for that reason, because we haven't had a lot of that in this franchise. So I think
that's true.
I think it's fun.
You definitely have to watch it with a group of friends in order for it to be fun. Same with Jason X.
Absolutely. I love Jason X.
I love Jason X.
I'm a big fan of Jason X as well.
Eventually, we're going to be doing a lot of these franchise ones, and I can't wait till we get to Jason. I do want to update you guys. So I was in California this last weekend, and one of the other things I like about this movie is I finally seen the Myers house.
Yeah.
And of all the movies, this is one of the ones that actually brings back the original Myers house the closest. It looks like that house were dilapidated. So that's another thing I can see. The production design's pretty good on this.
Dangertainment has some money behind them. That's it.
Also, true. Tyra Banks, man, like Tyra Banks, just and this is had Top Model started yet? Because it, again, talking about being such a piece of its time.
That's a great question. I don't know that it has. Like, she was like kind of like transitioning from what model to actress?
I think it was right around the corner, like right before
she done Coyote Ugly.
That's right. Yes. Yeah.
She hadn't done a whole lot, but I like what you're saying there about the early 2000s nostalgia. You know, I was a young adult then, so like, you know, I like that time period. It was a good time. You know, what do we got in this movie? We got Yahoo Chat. We have the Osbournes mentioned, CRT computer monitors, reality TV.
Could I just say the fact that they aspired to be, they're like, we're going to be as good as the Osbournes.
Like, that's just coming back, man. That's the bar. You know, they're talking about the Gap. They have Pulp Fiction costumes. Also, I'm so glad they didn't do blackface on the one guy. Like this movie would not have aged very well.
But it was the time where it was happening quite often, so I wouldn't put it past it.
Early 2000s. So thankfully they didn't. You're going to dress up as Samuel L. Jackson. That is the way you do it, guys. Okay, take notes.
What I will say too, like,
to just avoid all of that.
Yeah.
When I saw this in theaters, because this was only the first Halloween movie I ever actually saw was H2O. That was the first. I was a little late to Halloween. I grew up with Friday the 13th being my main, like, and then Child's Play. But when I saw this in theaters, I did not appreciate it till I rewatched it years later. Katie Sackhoff, and I was like, it's Starbuck.
Yeah,
right.
A girly girl, which you don't see her do very often.
And she wanted to do that part. She was originally called back for Dawn, which is the really smart girl. And
yeah.
She wanted to do the fun girly girl.
I think that was her first movie.
Yeah. It's kind of nice seeing, like, I never get to see her like that. And I remember that my first rewatch, like, the popcorn tossing up and being like, what? Because in 2002, I didn't know who she was.
Yeah, and I mean, we've seen her in other series roles too, like Oculus, and so it's a fun one to go back and just be like, wow, this is a different Katie.
It's a
very different.
I also like Bianca Kaljic, but I didn't know her at the time, but only afterwards, like watching her in Rules of Engagement and stuff. Like, I loved that show, and that's such that's a show that I feel like is underappreciated in general. So going back and revisiting this, it's like, are you kidding me? This is her? What the hell?
Yeah, let's talk about her a little bit, because she's actually done quite a bit. I mean, back in the day, even she was in Dawson's Creek, and she's in a horror movie called Dark Was the Night, but she's actually coming back into a big show. The Winchesters is, you know, kind of a big deal. Supernatural was on for 15 seasons. So
it has a huge following.
I think she's playing their dad, like the aunt. She's playing someone named Millie Winchester. But I'm all for her. She's from Seattle.
I was gonna say she's from Seattle. Yeah.
Anything. I've only seen her in Resurrection. I had to look up her filmography because I was like, what else has she done? Because I do that all the time. I'm always constantly looking up actors in horror movies because I'm curious to see what they've done.
And talking about poor Katie, so she did this movie. She hadn't done a whole lot. And she recently did like a live stream where she said she'd never seen it before, which isn't entirely true. She'd done another interview where she went to the premiere with her parents, and she had told them during production she was not going to show her bra. Like, that's not going to fucking happen. And she's watching it with her mom and dad, and of course you see it come up. That's not her boobs. And so her parents were like, what the fuck? And then she's like, what the fuck? Those boobs are really small. She was really upset.
Oh my God.
I mean, that's fair. Like, I suppose I would too.
You should have approval on, like, stunt boobs, or if I had a stunt cock or something,
man. Yeah.
I'd want to see like the guy's cock first.
I
if
wanna
he's gonna
see
pretend
it.
He's me. Come on.
The stunt butt.
I would want to say in
Yes.
whatever parts you're seeing.
Especially like, I mean, this one was just a bra, but like, I'm really like weird about nipples. Like some people's nipples just look really angry, and I don't want angry nipples representing me. You know?
Oh my
But it's a
God.
horror movie.
Okay, I'm fine with scared nipples. I'm fine with like final girl nipples. You know, I'm fine with like the 6 boobs for Necropolis. I just don't want no angry ass nipples.
I need
Okay.
an example of angry nipples. Can you?
I do too.
They're like
I need
when
answers.
people have these really tiny like raisin nipples and they just look like they don't want to be there. Like they want to be anywhere else. Like
I've
really
seen
angry
nipples.
raisinette
Oh my
nipples.
I'm gonna
Okay.
go
Way off topic.
Every nipple in every horror film I watch now, being like, are they angry? Are they sad?
You can
Are they
ask me if
melancholic?
you want.
Like,
I will let you know.
I need a whole nipple scale for reference.
This is
That's
I
a
am
straight
not
from
drunk
the
enough
day.
for this shit. I thought I was
start
going to be too
drinking.
drunk. And
Honey.
I'm pretty drunk right now, but god damn it.
The last time you were on, we talked about penectomies, all right?
Yeah, that's true.
And
This is
yeah,
gonna
outside the
stay
nine, I
stuck in
have
my
to
head for a
agree.
while.
Kim has like the best hair ever. Kim, you have awesome hair.
Thank you.
Okay, let's talk about some other people because we've been talking about people in this movie. So here's a surprising thing that I don't know if a lot of people know. This was directed by Rick Rosenthal. So if you don't know, he directed Part 2, which is a fan favorite.
And he's the professor.
And he
makes
is.
a
And the
cameo.
professor
Yeah,
is named
noticed
Mr.
that.
Mixer, which
Mm-hmm.
is the name of the doctor who got the syringe through the eyeball in Part 2. Oh, fun fact for you.
The drunk doctor.
Yay.
That's what's weird is like, so he was involved way back then, and then he's doing it now. So you think like, this is, the studios are like, we're putting it in safe hands. We're bringing it back to the OG stuff. And
Yeah, but one of the co-writers of Texas Chainsaw Massacre directed Next Generation, so
That's
I'm
true.
always skeptical.
Fair.
Always skeptical.
Mm-hmm.
Trust no one. Or just you know what? Get off your original muffin or whatever you want to call it. Like it's okay. We can
I
allow
think that's the
movies
thing. Yeah, that's the thing.
We can allow movies to be what they are, Next
Oh,
Generation doesn't
absolutely.
have to be Texas Chainsaw. I think it's fun in its own right. Like I think this movie's fun in its own right. And I think we're gonna not quite as much as we got gooey deep into Michael's brain last week. Because there's only so much. There's only so much deep diving I can do in this movie. A lot of this is just fun. But yeah, I've got some treats for you as we go along. I also want to point out Rick Rosenthal, and it's interesting because I noticed during the action scenes, I'm a big Buffy fan, and the action scenes towards the third act, they're kind of remind me of some of the action scenes in Buffy. And
Yeah.
Rick Rosenthal did direct the episodes Help and Normal Again, which Normal Again is one of my favorites. And they use the same sound effects too. That like, I can't duplicate it, but if you watch Buffy, watch the movie, and you're gonna hear the same sound effects. The only sound effect that bothers the crap out of me, watch the movie. Whenever Michael takes out his knife, he goes like a sheath. Like, where's that sound coming from? His butt?
I didn't notice that. That's interesting. Yeah.
Every
I mean,
time
should be
I
coming
watch that movie and I hear it, I'm like, why is it so loud? It's like he's walking towards Laurie. So it's like, I'm like, why?
Yes.
Why?
Mostly it's just jealousy because I wish whenever I took anything out of my pockets, it made that noise. But
It's my life.
I'm just jealous. If I was a guy and I took out my dong, I would be upset if it did not make that noise. So this is the show, guys. You know what? You know what you're getting into.
I was already anticipating this, so it's all good.
Yes. And if you didn't, well, you just, the streams are on the internet. There was warning out there for you.
Mhm.
Let's talk about the writers. So Larry Brand co-wrote it, but mostly he came up with the story. I don't really know much about this Larry Brand. But the guy who did the screenplay was Sean Hood, which sounds like a cool name. This is the guy who wrote Crow Wicked Prayer. So there were warnings in the universe about what we were getting.
We don't
I
talk
don't
about
think I ever
that
saw
movie.
that, to be honest.
You need to see
Wow.
Dennis Hopper be like, do you want to take this hoe to be your unlawfully wedded wife or something?
That
In
sounds
hell?
excellent.
With,
Yeah. It's true. It's all true.
It's
Wow.
all in there, dude. It's so
So I should
bad.
add that to 100 Days of Horror, I guess.
We need to do this one someday because it's pretty crazy.
Now that I think about it, it's probably worth watching just for that scene.
Just the
alone.
wedding scene. I wish I could remember the
Have
whole
to see it to
quote.
believe it.
But yeah, it's got David Boreanaz in it. It's got Tara What's Her Butt from the Sharknado films. She's the hoe in
That is her
question.
proper Christian name, actually.
The Crow is Eddie Furlong.
Terry.
You know,
The Crow is Eddie Furlong.
Eddie Furlong, and he's like the
fucking
whiniest
kidding?
little crow ever. He's a
John
short little
No
whiny
way.
crow.
himself. He
Eddie
uses
Furlong
a
plays the
Sharpie
Crow. Are you fucking kidding
instead
me
of painting
right
He's
the
now?
a little
Sharpie. to
squeaky
his
crow.
face.
I don't believe this.
So, guys, you know,
I
things,
thought it was gonna
other
be
things
good,
have
and I
gone
was
further
so
downhill than
disappointed.
Halloween.
That's true.
If this is the lowest point of Halloween, then Halloween ain't that bad. Because
That's
the lowest
true.
point of The Crow, like, I don't know if I could, even I, who likes to play devil's advocate with movies, I don't think even I can make that one sound good.
Wow.
This is
Furlong
much
20,
better
Not
than
saying
the
more.
yeah.
All right, but yeah, this movie does not have the best reputation. On Letterboxd, we got a 1.7, IMDb a 3.9, Rotten Tomatoes 12% from critics and 25% from audiences.
See,
And I
so
think it's unfair.
I do think so. What's going on here is that critics are probably like, it's older, right? So critics aren't revisiting this and re-rating it. I mean, Rotten Tomatoes didn't exist, so a lot of people are going to probably do that by either memory or based on an older review that they already had, and they're just like, okay, let's get all my shit onto Rotten Tomatoes to beef up my profile. And the audience people are like,
Beefing up your profile.
I'm watching it now, and I'm commenting because it's the internet, and we can do that. So I always trust the audience a lot more when it comes to Rotten Tomatoes, especially with older movies, because it just wasn't around. So chances are that critics are just bullshitting their way through it most of the time, unless they're revisiting it, which is, I don't think that a lot of people are that are like Rotten Tomato qualified. I mean, aside from the few people that we know that are tomato.
Like Lee?
Right.
I think I know like 2 or 3.
Yeah, so there's like very few that are like both horror fans and revisiting this stuff to rate it on Rotten Tomatoes, because it just doesn't make sense for a lot
But
of
they're
people.
still outdone. I mean, like, I trust Lee, but I don't know who the heck the rest of these critics are.
Hey, if they allowed me to get Rotten Tomato meters
You
or whatever the
probably
fuck,
could. Go do it.
They denied me. They said there's
Nuh-uh.
other people on your show. You need 200,000 subscribers. I said, fuck you. Come on.
Wow.
They wouldn't
What?
do it, but they said we
That's
do
like when
like
they
your
denied
stuff.
Dr. Wolfula his button. YouTube, man. YouTube.
We're not getting into that.
That's a whole other day. But I will also say
Sometimes
this
you
movie
don't- you
didn't
don't need
lose
to
money.
listen to the- Oh, I'm sorry. I was gonna say
You're fine.
sometimes it's best to avoid the almighty tomato. You don't have to listen to that all the time.
Yeah.
You don't. And keep in mind, even when something's fresh, that just means that they rated it a 3-star and above. They're not saying it's the best thing ever. They're just saying, yeah, it's worth
No.
seeing. So a lot of times something will say you're 98% fresh. It doesn't necessarily mean they're saying it's the best movie of the year. They're just saying it's watchable.
But
Which
on
is
the,
still
at
better
the-
than Rotten.
on
I
the
guess.
same note, though, on the same note, when we're like, hey, it has 28%, that means it's like not a lot of people even rated it 3 stars.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's still like low. IMDb
But yeah,
is probably a better reference, I imagine.
the budget, $15 million went into this
I
movie.
agree.
That's
And
good.
it made 37.6 million, and they did some stuff with this movie that had never been done before. They actually, the cameras on their heads are working cameras. They spent a lot of time deciding what kind of cameras they would use. They didn't want them to be too small. They didn't want them to be too big. They didn't want them to look like Borgs. They needed the footage to look good. But we see a lot of their footage in the movie, and that's something that we'd never seen really in a movie before. And I actually like the idea of this show. I've seen a lot of reality TV, but I think it would be really cool to watch something like this on your computer and choose which camera you're watching. Like, I think the idea of it's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Night
On
Trap.
the
You ever watch
DVD.
Night Trap?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or play Night Trap, sorry?
The video game?
Yeah, it was like on the
CD game?
Sega.
Where you get to jump from room to room, but jumping from person to person, that would be super fun. Deckard's having a blast over there at that party. Just
I do remember on the special edition DVD for Resurrection, you can watch the whole thing from like everybody's point of view, like the cameras. No Deckard,
No way.
Yeah, I kind of remember
Really?
that.
It starts off where they go into the house, and then it switches from different cameras, like wherever they are, and they change
That's
up a few
cool.
things. Yeah, you can watch
That's
it
just
like
the
that.
DVD, right? The DVD, like with a lot of movies, we talked about a lot of differences with the Rob Zombie ones in the last couple streams. The DVD is different than what you're getting. It's different than what I have here, and it's different than any of the Blu-ray ones. It does have slight differences to the film. You guys know on Fight Club when he like splices in dongs? Well, if you watch there's no dongs. Don't get excited.
No,
but if you watch the
cigarette
one on
dongs.
DVD, during certain cuts of the film, there are spliced Michael Myers in there. So you can pause it and you
That's
can see little
right.
Michael Myers.
Oh,
but you
I
don't get
know
that
what you're
Blu-ray.
talking about.
yeah.
Where they do that, the children's movie.
It's like
in
2
Fight Club.
seconds. You have to
Mhm.
really
Yeah.
pause it. 2 seconds of Michael Myers, like subliminally in your brain.
Not just Busta
Right.
hanging.
No, they should have mixed it in there. Two people who really don't like this movie would be Jamie Lee Curtis, bless her heart, and John Carpenter. So we'll talk about Jamie Lee Curtis. She did not want to do this. She had to do it. She really wanted to make H2O, and she really wanted them to kill Michael. And Mustafa Akkad, the producer, has a clause where he says you cannot kill Michael Myers. You're just not allowed to. So Kevin Williamson pitched, well, what if the paramedic thing that in this movie? And he went along with that. And Jamie Lee Curtis said, on the condition that you can watch this movie and it would appear that he's dead. You're not setting up anything sneaky. So she was happy with H2O. She didn't want to do this fucking movie. And they tried to lie and say that the reason she's in 15 minutes of the film is because she was so excited about the script. No, she really, she says that she calls this movie a joke. She does not like this movie. The reason why is she said she would do it on the condition that they killed off her character because she did not want Laurie brought into any more of these movies, which obviously that didn't stick. But
that's fair on her part because H2O's ending was so good.
Yeah.
And if they ended it there, I'm good. That's fine.
I would have been satisfied.
Unfortunately, they, retconned that. And sure, they did it like in clever flashbacks, but it is weird to just kind of bring her back, kill her, and let's get on with the regular movie.
Yeah.
I'm sure I don't really remember. Like, I saw this in theaters, but I don't remember the trailer. I wonder if I was pissed. I'm sure I would have been pissed if Jamie Lee Curtis is all over everything. You go.
She's top billed.
Right. It's similar to like Scream and Drew Barrymore. You're like, I went for her. What the hell?
The lies.
Yeah, she's top billed. She's in the first 15 minutes. I do like that opening scene. I also really like, I think his name's Howard, the person in the sanitarium who's like a lexicon of serial killers. I think there's a lot of things in that opening scene I really like.
I noticed when I watched it earlier, he has a pair of scissors in his room, and I'm like, they let this mental patient have a fucking pair of scissors in there? They let them wander around. Where's security? Worst security ever. I hear siren.
Oh,
they're coming for me. I'm sorry.
John Carpenter, he said he watched this movie fairly recently, and he said, I watched the one in that house with all the cameras. Oh my God. Oh Lord. God. And then this guy gives a speech at the end about violence. What the hell? Oh my Lord. I could not believe. He said the movie made him cringe.
I think that's going to happen. If you don't have a say in it and stuff, and you go back and you're like, what the hell is this? They're getting hip with all this technology and shit. I'm not down with this. Because you got to think, it's so many years. It's like 30 years later. Right? Like,
so,
holy.
My mom's in the chat, and she says Jamie Lee did not need to be in this movie. Would you guys have liked this movie better if they just didn't bring her back in it? If they just moved on?
They didn't have to.
They didn't have to. That's true.
Yeah.
But it is nice to just continue the tie-in. I think it's important for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Did you guys know? Okay, so there's a couple things with this movie. One of the abandoned ideas was Halloween 8, Legion of Doom, where Laurie was going to be the killer. That didn't happen. Sounds
I
interesting.
remember. I think they did a comic book with that that idea. They had Tommy Doyle, Lindsay Wallace was in it, and I think Laurie was revealed to be the killer in the end, or something like that.
They
That would
also,
be
yeah, they were
interesting.
thinking about doing something without Michael Myers in it. And they polled audiences and they're like, no, we want Michael Myers. So obviously they were not Season of the Witch fans. Bummer. But they ended up going with this one. It was originally called Halloween Homecoming, Halloween 2K, michaelmyers.com. And they went with
Halloween 2K. Come on. It was right there.
They went with Resurrection. So audiences knew for a fact that Michael Myers was alive and well and coming back. And it was actually supposed to be like these 3 movies, like the Williamson style movies, were supposed to be kind of like a trilogy. And there's a line cut from that opening scene where she's telling Michael she's not afraid of him. And she says, like, and you'll never find my son. And the idea was in the next movie that her son, John Tate, comes back seeking revenge for his mother, and he teams up with Sheriff Brackett.
Wow.
I would have watched that.
I would have loved that.
I've never heard of that one. It's like back then I used to look up. Do you guys remember upcoming horror movies? .com?
Yeah.
I used to
still
go
go
on
on
there. Yeah, I go on there from time to time, and I used to go on there like every week, and I would look up the new Halloween movie, when's it coming out, and I remember it was something about they were gonna lock up Michael, he was gonna go to trial, and
There's
would find
a
out
lot
that,
of
like,
abandoned homes.
something about Dr. Loomis's grandson was gonna come to Haddonfield.
Oh,
I need all of that.
Yeah.
I need that. Imagine the jury on it. It's
Wow.
like, no, you murdered like fucking 20 people. Get out of here.
Yeah,
No.
like you were supposed to find out like about Michael's past, like the missing years, different victims that we don't know about, like a bunch
Wow.
of shit.
Yeah,
like that.
I think there's a comic about that too. I remember there was something.
Yeah,
And it has like
something like
Loomis's
that.
backstory a bit more too, like his girlfriend or wife or something.
Yeah,
They also
something
wanted to get Danielle Harris for this, and even though her character's dead, and they basically said those movies didn't count. They didn't essentially know what they wanted to do. But this is what we got, guys. This is what we got.
We basically, though, at this point have like a multiverse of Halloween movies. So let's just lean into it and do all of these different ones and say, like, yeah, hey, this is Universe 666 or whatever. Like, let's do it.
I'm for that. Yes.
Yeah.
I dig it.
I think the ending of Halloween ends with this giant portal is gonna open up, and you're gonna see the cold storm, Silver Shamrock's gonna come out. It's just gonna be one big party.
I have a theory on this, and I've talked about this with I Like Scary a lot. I'm going to get into this a lot more when I get to Season of the Witch. But my longtime theory is that there's something fucked up with the mask that Michael wears as a kid, the clown mask. And I think it's a Silver Shamrock fucking mask. And I think that the mask is kind of drawn to people who have evil in them, and it draws them out. So as a 6-year-old, he puts this on. It's feeding on him, and he's attracted to it. He kills his sister, but I also think the mask that he really loves, his Captain Kirk one, it's also Silver Shamrock. And here's the thing. There's been a couple other people who have worn Michael Myers masks, and it used to really bother me. You guys know that scene. Here, I'll play it for you. This scene here used to really bug me.
Ah, damn it. What the hell is wrong with you? I said, what you looking at me like that for? Huh? You don't get it? You don't get it?
I was like, what the fuck? Show some respect. It's Michael fucking Audrey Myers, all right? Show some goddamn respect. Why isn't he killing him? But I thought about it. It's because he's wearing the mask. So it's a lot like what happened with Tommy in part 4 of Friday, where he's like a little confused. He's like, well, why has this guy got my mask? And like, what's going on? I think he's processing here. So I'll allow it.
Yeah.
I like that he actually listens to him. He's like, you're right. I'm leaving.
Yeah.
You got this side, I'll go that way.
You've got some
I
alpha
don't have
energy
time for
here.
this.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what? I'm gonna leave you for last. I don't have time for this right now.
He tapped his head. Imagine, like, if anyone, even just if I wasn't a serial killer and anyone taps my head, you're getting punched. Like, doesn't matter. But he is a serial killer, and with a knife probably in his hand or somewhere, wherever it shings from. You tap his head. Come on. But I absolutely love that because this is a great example. Like I've seen people complain about the masks in this movie.
Yeah.
And
Let's
how
talk
the
about the
mask
mask,
is
yeah.
kind of weird because the hair's kind of all over the place, which I think is a great look. But this is a great example of people looking at the Busta Rhymes lighting of that mask and the same mask on Michael Myers that looks menacing and awesome. And it looks more similar to like the first one
Yeah.
in that scene, even though they're probably the same mold that they're using on the set. It's just, it all comes down to the lighting. I think the mask is still great.
The lighting's great in this movie. I will say that.
The hair gets a little crazy when he did like the walk through the wall when he's running.
chia pet.
when he,
Has
Oh
a
my
little, like,
God.
I put my finger in a socket at times. Like,
yeah.
He looks like a pissed off
Yeah.
Cabbage Patch doll sometimes. But
And
the
as
only
soon
thing I
as
don't like
he's
is
going
I
up
think
the
the eyebrows are too
he's going
dark.
up the stairs. Oh, sorry. He's I remember like his hair's all fucked up. He goes up the stairs on the rooftop, and then all of a sudden it's slick back. He's like, "Oh, gotta fix my hair," and then
yeah,
back
no,
down.
it's very important.
he
Do I still
knows.
look cool?
He knows.
But yes, his eyebrows are really dark. But I also, again, I allow it, just like how Jason changes with each movie, and we compare them all because they're all slasher movies. But Jason gets progressively more pissed off with each movie. By 7, he's just like, I have like more people are in my damn freaking camp, and I'm not having it. But this is pissed off Michael Myers, and so he's got his angry mask on. Like his original mask is kind of sad, kind of like sad Charlie Brown walking away mask. But this is like I don't got time for this shit mask.
This
unless
is get off my lawn mask.
Exactly. So get off
I
my
didn't
lawn.
have time to do my face mask.
Yeah.
Yes.
You mentioned the lighting earlier when he's chasing is it Donna like down in the basement and all that, and the lighting like when it's like blue and he looks pissed off when he's just way towards her. I was like, oh, that's a scary looking motherfucker right there.
Yeah. What are you gonna do? You're in a sewer. Well,
Speaking of which,
yeah,
I kind of made one of them, like it's a YouTube short. It's kind of like a TikTok, but that's one of my favorite parts in this fucking movie. He's got like that rage mode you get when you play the Friday the 13th game, where he just bursts through walls like the fucking Kool-Aid man, like this share.
but that hair, look at that. That hair is awesome. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy!
I had to rewatch the replay because it's so good.
It is so
I'm
good.
telling
It's
you,
so
it's
good.
like he didn't real like when he went through the door. It's like, oh shit! It's like he goes up the stairs. It's like, oh, gotta fix this up real quick.
Well, see, here's the thing. I'm gonna throw it out there. I don't know if anyone said this before, but I propose that Michael Myers is kind of vain. He needs to have a particular mask. He needs it to look a particular way. And he doesn't have to wear coveralls. He goes out of his way to find people who have coveralls so he can get them. He wants it to look a particular way, or he's not happy.
He has
This is my look. Yeah.
Exactly. He's not going to go celebrate Halloween without his coveralls. Are you insane? No. He's not going to go out there in his little nighty gown from the sanitarium. He's got a reputation to uphold.
Well, you can't have your butt flying out there. Or are you going to put his
butt flying out?
Yeah.
No.
Like, am I a joke to you?
Oh, hell no. No. All right. So let's see. What else? We got Brad Lorry playing Michael Myers. I think he did a good job. He wanted to come back and do more. He's done a lot of stunts, everything from Cabin in the Woods, Supernatural, Final Destination, Underworld. And he was super excited about being Michael Myers. And actually, I know a lot of people complain that we don't see, drawing a blank on her name right at the second, Tyra's character. We don't see her death.
Yeah.
Nora. We don't see her death. But it was his idea because he's a big slasher fan. And he said, you always need one body that turns up at the end where you're like, oh, that's what happened to them. They died. And so they took his advice on it.
That's fair.
It's
I
true.
still wanted to see it, especially because she was a big name. If she wasn't a big name, I'm okay with it. I think that was one that we should have got. But
they did film it.
actually,
She's like garroted with electrical wire, and then she's held up and stabbed in the belly. And if you look at the promotional shots, you can see parts of it.
if we
That's
could
a good
just
trick.
show us that one instead of the head squish one. Like, we don't give a shit about the head squish.
Oh,
The
yeah.
head squish? I like the head squish. What was your guys' favorite kill?
I mean, I do like Katie Sackhoff's head down the steps. only because then the reactions they all get. And I'm a fan of any time you cut somebody's head off and then like bowl with it. I'm like, yeah, let's
Hell
go
yeah.
forward, man. That's great.
And that was his first decapitation.
And that was his first decapitation.
It was
It's not
when
something
he
you
when he grabs Jim's head and crushes it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Rudy's death, I think, is great. I'm a huge fan of Bob's death in the OG one. So that was like a nice callback. And the fact that Rudy was the only one that kind of had some kind of backstory with culinary stuff. He's playing with the knife at the beginning.
Yeah, I love when
he does some
is
fucking
doing
paprika.
spice food. Yeah, spice food, paprika. And he's the first one who figures out that it's staged. She's like, this isn't 40-year-old fennel.
Yeah, that guy was good.
Cool backstory. Like, everyone gets one character trait in this movie. I love it. They're like, okay, you're the cooking guy. You're the one who wants to be famous. You're the one who's kind of sleazy. You're really smart.
But Rudy's was great because he gets lifted up, stabbed twice, and then just for good measure, he goes back, gets the proper butcher knife, and bobs him. And you did have the camera initially with the head tilt. Love it. Good callback. Underrated kill.
Yeah,
I don't think people realize that there are a lot of callbacks in this movie because they get so angry.
My favorite kill would be Charlie's death by tripod. It's very peeping Tom.
Oh, yeah.
I like that one.
Yeah.
I like that one. And it's funny because he's screwing around with the angles a lot. And I was like, actually, the angle on this kill is really cool. It's very creative.
No, you're right.
I do want to ask where he got that tripod because my tripods don't have spikes on the bottom.
Mine have rubber bottoms.
If they
would
had
not
spikes
that.
on the bottoms, they would slip and slide all over the damn
I've
place.
custom made mine to have spikes in the bottoms just in case I need to impale someone. So
Oh my
they
god!
have the removable, cover them, but then boom, party spikes.
Yeah, it
There you
reminded
go.
me of Peeping Tom, which is like one of the first slasher movies where he modifies everything to be like a killing instrument.
Yeah,
So I don't know. I don't know how he had time to do that, but
because he had his knife.
Exactly. He's got mad skills in this. Something else I noticed, and I actually read this online, but the movie Busta's watching, they added all the kung fu sounds to it. That's not in the movie. It's Busta's version. He likes the extra noises.
Maybe he did
something else they
voiceover.
dubbed. Bianca has this great scream. Apparently, she actually can't scream. That was dubbed by somebody else in post.
I believe that.
Yeah,
Sad.
I heard about that.
You mentioned some homages, and I wrote down a few. Michael lowering himself from the rafter from H2O. The washing machine made me think of Part 6.
Yeah.
The Raggedy Ann doll from 78. Sarah playing with her hair from 78. You mentioned Rudy's death. The way he always gets to do that like dramatic sit-up thing.
I like that one. Come on,
like
you have to.
Nosferatu, boom.
There's
The problem with this one is he's not hidden, so it just looks
He's not.
weird.
He's
It
not.
looked like Undertaker. It's like there's so many lights on you. We can see you, pal.
Yeah.
The one in the trailer was good though, where he sits up in the bathtub. They should have gone with that one instead, I think, instead of the fire one. Because that one
didn't
looked
see
kind of
that.
creepy. It's like in the background of one of Katie Sackhoff's shots. It's in the trailer. They used a lot of stuff in the trailer that they didn't use in the movie. There's also in the sanitarium, if you look above Laurie's bed, there's a picture of John from H2O.
So
Yeah.
I guess he's still canon.
Well, yeah. Let's see. We mentioned the Freddie Harris is named after Daniel Harris. Jen Danzig, not a very that one's pretty obvious. It's from Glenn Danzig, who sings Halloween. And then there's the blood coming out of Jim's eyes, which was like Halloween 2. There's a lot to Halloween 2 in this movie, but did you guys catch any that I didn't catch?
I caught. That you didn't catch. That I noticed because of the eyes when it was bloody in number 2. That's what you're talking about. So yeah, that was it.
No, I did zero research on this movie, so I don't know shit.
No, I took notes when I was watching. I was like, I got it all written down.
Oh, a little notepad. That looked like Blue's Clues there.
No, it's not the handy dandy notebook.
Damn it.
Here's the mail. It never fails. It makes me want to wag my tail. When it comes, I want to wail mail. Why do I know that? Why do I have that in my head and I don't have like childhood memories?
Because you had that.
I
in your
don't
head.
know.
Exactly.
It's stuck in your head forever.
My brain is like, oh, Halloween Resurrection. We need to store this somewhere. Do we need her memories of her mom? No, get rid of that shit.
Nice
We need
childhood
Resurrection.
memories. Who needs that?
Yeah, I know. Let's see. Here's a question I wanted to ask you guys. Do you think this movie would have worked better if it was straight up found footage? Or do you like it the way it is?
I am not a huge fan of found footage in general. So maybe at the time, because it would have been more innovative, sure. Watching it now, I would have been like, I'm so sick of found footage. I do not want to watch this. So I don't think so.
Unique.
Yeah.
It could have been a unique take, but I think, like you said, the inclusion of Jamie Lee Curtis was necessary to connect Resurrection and H2O. So I don't think the audience at that time would have accepted that. It's just, who are these people? You know what I mean?
Absolutely, yeah.
But I think they could have gotten, I mean, again, as an unapologetic found footage fan, you can get pretty creative with news footage. She was in a sanitarium, so you had all these cameras around. I think if they'd leaned into it, it would have been possible. And given it was 2002 and Blair Witch was what, 99 or so? You were kind of still in those, that found footage, like golden era, a little bit of it being a novelty. I think it might not be as low on some people's lists if for no other reason than it was really innovative. That being said, I think there's a lot of people then who would have full on hated it because a lot of people hate found footage.
I think even though I know they try to get really good cameras, I'm not a big fan of the footage from their cameras, but I think it's just because it doesn't blend well with the other footage they have. Though originally I know they were going to do more like videotape stuff. The original opening of this movie was Michael and Lori and their parents like in the backyard, and that's where some of those pictures from the album come from.
Yeah.
And then it was going to like zoom in on his eyes, and that was going to transition us to the sanitarium. And I think if they were going to go all in like that with more like video footage, maybe.
Yeah.
But I think the way they did it is good because, like I said, this is one of a kind. It's never really been done like this since, and it was certainly not done like this beforehand.
That's when
and with a $15 million budget. Some people have done it just with lower budgets.
Well, yeah. Movies that Jay has seen. You can hear all about those on his channel. Some of them scare me, but there's some gems in there too.
It's crazy how there's so much footage that was cut from this film. Yeah. Like I did some research, and there's a lot of footage that nobody has seen from like the work print of the movie that didn't even make the special features. And that opening scene that you were talking about, like you have to find it on YouTube, and then you just said like you can find the other footage on Daily Motion. There's like stuff with Freddie Harris and Tyra Banks, like they're interviewing them. So they can promote the Dangertainment stuff when they were going to the Myers house. Like, there's a lot of shit that it's hard to find.
That's cool. I did not know that.
I need to try and find some of that stuff on YouTube. But yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like, I've seen Jay, you know what I'm talking about here. I've seen Sharks of the Corn. By comparison, this movie is pretty well made, guys.
I think that.
What the hell is that?
It has Sasquatch in it. That's all I'm going to tell you.
Oh, really?
You saw
that. Now I'm interested.
Okay, so my favorite line in Sharks of the Corn, totally deviation here, but have a grenade, bitch. That made the whole thing worthwhile.
I'm gonna look
that sounds a lot better than Shark Exorcist.
I'm making it sound Shark Exorcist is terrible. I'm making it sound really good. I actually have Sharkula that I'm saving for my buddy comes up to visit.
Oh my god.
Mark Polonia movies, I'm hit or miss on. I think that he's gone downhill over the last 4 years. He had some good ones. Sharkula, I'm nervous about. Virus Shark is up there for his shark movies. I didn't
like that one. We need to talk shark movies one of these days because you're a big shark movie guy.
Yes.
One of these days. So Dude Brothers pointed out, have you guys seen the cutscene where Deckard saves the day? That's actually one that's on the Blu-ray. And I prefer that because here's the thing. The movie's it's interesting because Deckard and Sarah had this relationship, but they've never seen each other. And you feel like it's building up to they're going to meet, right?
Right,
And
like
because she's like,
cameras move out of the way, and here they come
he
for a kiss for
saves
some
her.
reason.
He saves her, and she's like, "Who the hell are you?" And I think it's really cute because he's seen her, but she's never seen him.
So
And
how
they
does
have
it play out? Because I haven't seen that.
It's on the
It's
Blu-ray.
something-
He pulls her out of the fire, and she's like, "Thanks. Who the hell are you?" And
Oh
they
yeah, I
kinda-
can remember this. Yeah.
And Busta Rhymes is
Yeah,
not
he-
the hero.
No,
he
there's a
saves-
cut where he dies.
Still
There's,
the hero
there is,
of my heart.
No, wait. Actually, no. Deckard saves her, and then you see Freddy being taken away on a stretcher with a neck brace, and he's apologizing to Sarah because
Yeah.
they
Okay.
shot multiple endings.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Yeah, there's 4 different endings, and there's 3 different endings for Busta. One's where he dies, one's where he doesn't. One of the endings is Michael's on a stretcher, and he comes up, and then Sarah grabs a axe from the fire engine, and then plonks him on the head. And they wanted to show different endings in different theaters, like they did with Clue, but Mustafa was not down with that. But they are all on the Blu-ray. And then another ending, because we have that jump scare at the end where Michael opens up his eyes.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
Scared the shit out of me.
Heart attack.
Another one
So
is where the film crew is going into the house, and he jumps out of a hole and grabs the person who's going in there investigating.
Jumps out of a hole. Random
Just
hole.
jumps out of
Let's
a
go.
hole.
No,
Why not?
There were actually like investigators, like CSI people. That's what it was, and they looked down in the hole, and I don't know what she was wearing, like it was a lanyard or something, and he jumps out, and they had like that noise, that high pitched noise, and he grabs her, and it fades to black, and she screams. Like, imagine being 12 years old, sitting in front of your TV.
That would scare the shit out of me.
I'm looking for my remote control. I'm like, where the hell's the control? And I'm watching this like up close to my screen, and Michael pops out. I'm like, fuck.
I would
Yeah,
love to
that's
see your
true.
reaction. Your
How you
reaction
think
was
my
more
eye popped
entertaining
out?
than the ending.
It's crazy. Almost had a heart attack.
Yeah, it's a CSI crew. I didn't rewatch any of them today, but I have seen them. There's a lot of them on there. I think you can find them online. Hi, baby. Score with a straw.
Hi, Danny.
Fuck yeah, Samuel Adams on Oktoberfest. Say hi to everybody.
Also, hi, chat. We haven't talked to you in a while. We miss
Oh,
you.
yeah.
We don't miss you. I've been reading it. I just keep looking over here.
I do read the chat on these ones, but like I've told you guys before, Sundays is when it's like me hanging out with the chat. But these ones, I've invited these guests here, and I want them to have my attention. But I am reading your comments, and at the end of our stream today, if you have any questions, that is when I'm going to answer them. So, put your comments in your pocket. No, I don't know what to say to you. But we're going to get to your questions, and I am reading the chat. So, I've been highlighting some stuff.
You've got all the bangers tonight. You put those highlights in your chat and get off your old crumpet or whatever the fuck you said.
I'm an old lady now. Glory be grandma. I also
Maybe
like.
grandma.
That's what I'm gonna do. Eventually, this channel is gonna become like my OnlyFans, and I'm just gonna talk about horror movies and sit on cakes, and it's gonna be great, guys.
Oh, don't do the.
It's
cake
just the
thing.
beginning of my career. Kim, you want to join me? We can drink tea.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
My beer with a straw.
She's lying. It's
It's gonna be
whiskey.
awesome.
And it's right there. We all know what's in here.
Oh yeah, we know what's in there. So, do you guys want to talk about any more of the cast? Well, one thing I didn't mention earlier is I do like that this is one of the few movies that establishes like what Michael eats. He eats dog and he eats rat.
Hey,
Delicious.
what else are you gonna eat?
Protein.
People.
I mean,
Protein.
I eat chicken
complain about
fingers
that for some reason.
and rats.
And Rudy's talking about that, how like, some serial killers have bad diets. So maybe that's why Michael kills. Maybe we figured it out because he'd been eating dog and rat.
I desperately want him to
spices.
be a vegan. I'm not going to lie. In my mind, he's a vegan.
We know Michael has spices.
That's true.
He should spice it up. Spice up your life.
Very
Wouldn't it be
flavorful dog
cool
and
if he was like Bubba from Forrest Gump and he only eats pumpkin related things like pumpkin pie, pumpkin seeds, pumpkin ale, and he could just list it all off for you?
Mhm.
See, I'm not allowed to make Halloween movies for reasons like this.
I always thought that was
I'm here for this.
like the fact that he's underneath the house hiding and eating rats, because like what's the guy gonna do? Like it's like he has to eat something. So it's like you
Squash.
said,
Eat squash.
I think what's also interesting about the situation is the fact that he was under the house. Like to him, he doesn't need to hide, right? Like the house is boarded up or whatever. Like why would he be underneath the house in the first place?
And like the Dew Brothers mentioned, he needs to hot plate.
Yeah.
that's true.
Typical college student, you know.
Yeah, he's just a young guy. He's just
eating ramen
hanging
all
out
day.
in his parents' basement,
Ramen and
eating
rats.
crap. Just like my son.
With his newspaper.
I don't get why he was down there in the grungiest of places when he, like, no one was in his house until that day.
Like,
Other than
welcome to my-
producers, maybe, to scope it out.
And all those people were setting up the props and stuff, but he was just like, what, hanging out?
He was just like,
I read that it's implied that he steals the Firebird and he like went joyriding. Because remember, she says there's a Firebird in front of the house.
There's
and then
a
it's
scene that
gone?
he steals it.
But
Yeah.
like, if he took his mask off, because nobody knows what he looks like, he could just like go down to Chili's and like order whatever he wants.
Baby back ribs.
Nobody would know. He could have some baby back ribs. Nobody would know it was him.
Oh my god, that sounds like the best commercial for anything I've ever heard.
you're right.
You just made a banger of a commercial right there. You would have made Chili's huge.
There's a scene where he's just, I think this was after he kills Laurie. He's walking around in the woods and there he comes across a tent and there are these two people having sex and he sees the Firebird, takes the keys, and when he turns the car on, he's blasting DMX and he just drives on out of there and goes to this house. And you hear the alarm, like literally when he gets out of the car, you hear boop, boop, and he's just like staring at the house. I'm like,
Wait, this is a real scene?
This is cut like footage from the like they had on the TV version when he gets to the house. Yes, I will send all of that to you, man. Like I'll look it up. And
I almost feel like we should be doing a watch party here.
I know.
Right? I should have watched all of this shit. I decided to just watch the straight movie with no commentary, which is terrible. I should have done any research on this movie.
I watched it when I was working today from my little COVID room because my son has COVID. So this is now my bedroom, and Danny's in the man cave. And we're all separated. You see my little bed with my Chucky blanket. So sad.
Aww.
Waltz gets out of quarantine tomorrow if he tests negative, guys.
Okay.
We believe in you.
And he gets my bedroom with the bathroom and the jacuzzi. So he's fine.
He's all right.
He's
doing
fine. I get all the pets. My mummy, by the way, this is my actual mummy, guys. Say hi to my mummy. Mummy B Movie. Mummy B Movie says the start of Michael Myers crazy is he hates Halloween candy. He doesn't like candy corn, which I don't like because I love me some candy corn. That would be cool if he could live on Halloween candy.
Yeah. There's a Halloween musical, because of course there is, and in it,
I need to see this. Is it playing in
amazing.
Seattle? I will come up and visit you.
I have the cast recording, and I've never, other than found some like YouTube clips, I've never seen a full production of it. But Michael Myers sings a whole song about why he killed his sister, and it's because she ate his last Snickers. And again, to me, this is canon.
I love this.
They got to the source.
You know what else is canon? You guys know Adam Green, right? Who does the Hatchet movies and he does Frozen and all that. He does a Halloween movie every year, not Halloween Michael Myers, but he does a Halloween short film every year. My favorite, I think, is Ghost Dog from this last year. But one of the first ones he did was Michael Myers driving lessons, and it's Michael Myers having driving lessons. You guys can watch it on YouTube. It's really funny. Just look up Area Scope.
Is it the Thunderbird or whatever?
It's the beige car. I'm not a car guy, but it's the beige car that he steals in 78.
I know what you're talking about. It's supposed to be a deleted scene, quote unquote, from Halloween.
Yeah, it's like a deleted scene from 78. And essentially he gets his license because the guy, like, Michael's doing a horrible job, but Michael's basically like, you need to give me my license or I'll kill you.
Kane Hodder plays Michael.
You passed.
In
Here you go.
That's actually
talking about some more of the cast people. We got Sean Patrick Thomas, who I remember from Save the Last Dance, Intentions, Barbershop, and Dracula 2000. What?
Oh yeah.
You like that one too, right, Kim?
Is that
I
Argento?
do. Very
Is that
much
the Argento
so.
one?
No, that's not.
No.
Dracula 3D is the Argento one. This is the
Oh.
one that had Johnny Lee Miller from Hackers in it, and it's really good. And it was like Wes
I don't think
Craven
I saw that one.
presents Dracula 2000. Oh my
Is
gosh,
that- I
dude!
think the guy from that '70s show was in it. Hyde.
Yeah, he was in
Yeah,
it.
he's in it.
It had some vamp babes in it, and Gerard Butler's Dracula.
Gerard Butler. Yeah.
Mhm.
I have a question. Completely off topic. I probably should have just messaged this.
You're right.
How long does this go? And can I go pee? And can I make a drink?
We never go over 2 hours, but you can help
Oh,
yourself
okay.
whatever
So
you
we're
want.
only
You don't have
halfway
to
there.
pay.
Oh yeah, I need this.
Sometimes we end at an hour. It just depends. I don't go over
We're
2
not
hours.
ending right now. So
But we're having so much fun talking about Dracula 2000.
okay, BRB.
Okay. I love him. He's great. Let's see. We got Thomas Ian Nicholas from the American Pie movies and Rookie of the Year as Kevin. And Miles Barton was played by Ryan Merriman, who was in Final Destination 3, Ring 2, and Rings.
Mm-hmm.
I just said a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah, all of you
Oh, yeah,
knew.
yes.
But I actually did research this week as opposed to last week. So, here we go. Let's see. Some more fun facts. So the guy who plays Miles' friend, who's dressed up as Samuel Jackson from Pulp Fiction, is Kyle Labine, who was in Freddy vs. Jason. Brent Chapman's in this too, and they're the only two people who've been in a Freddy, a Jason, and a Michael Myers movie.
We're gonna need to get him in a Hellraiser, and then they'll be cool.
Yeah.
Texas Chainsaw.
That would be great.
That would be like,
I
as an
remember you said-
actor, like that's such a great goal. Like, how many franchises can I be a part of? That would be.
Yeah.
I'd be
I
so
think
happy.
that would be amazing. I think Kane Hodder's done pretty well for himself because he has he's stunt doubled Leatherface before. He did Freddy's glove at the end of Jason Goes to Hell, and obviously he's played Jason. So I think he's doing pretty well.
Yeah.
He was Michael in that Adam Green thing.
He was, it's true.
Oh.
Something about this movie. There's a couple things about this movie that really don't make sense to me. One, I actually don't mind where it's filmed. It's filmed in British Columbia, BC, which I think looks Haddonfield-ish. What really bugs me is this movie was slated to come out in April. I love Halloween any time of year, but I would not plan to release a Halloween movie in April. It actually didn't come out until July, but I think that really hurt it at the box office. Because I don't think your mainstream audiences are ready to see Michael Myers in July. Like, any day of the year is fine for me, but for your average moviegoer, they want to see it in Halloween.
A movie called Halloween, you want to release in the Halloween season.
Agreed.
Other
Just
franchises, you can get away with releasing whatever, but like, come on.
Hey, Jay. By the way, I read your comment on your channel about how someone didn't like your thick hat. Fuck that guy. Your thick hat's like my favorite thing ever. When I'm having a bad day and I feel like there's no good in the world, I look at that picture of you wearing your thick hat and I just smile.
Well, great. I'm happy to make you smile. That sounded like an asshole. I'm like, well, great.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
I like all your hats. I like your Halloween one, and you had one before.
I should have worn that. That is more appropriate.
I like
here
them
we
all.
are.
You keep doing you.
I'll be right back.
All right, buddy. I'm gonna probably grab another beer here soon.
See,
These are pretty chill,
I'm thankful
guys.
that I asked that. Like, how does this go? It wasn't that I was trying to duck out. It's like I just need to be prepared.
I don't know. These
Now
are
I got
pretty chill. We were
3 PBRs and another one, and we're
4
good.
buddies hanging out, talking about a fun movie with some other buddies who are basically. I like to think of streams like this. Like, I've invited you guys to the Gory Hole. We're hanging out, and then the rest of my friends are outside looking in the window, and every so often I'm like, "Hey!" So that's the chat. What's up, Tatum Dom? What's up, Neon Black Reviews? No. My house is too small. You can't come in right now. But eventually. Outside the 9, how's it going? James, look. I can't. You know what? Hey,
I'm
James.
loving this. Keep trying.
I do see you guys, Entertainment Wizard, and just a quick moment to say thank you to those of you who watch these streams every week. Thank you. I really appreciate it. What else? something I like. There's some little things in here that I really like. It's a tiny little scene, but these kids have a pumpkin and they leave it on Michael Myers' porch. And I love this idea that the kids leave an offering for Michael Myers. I think that it's something that reminds me of like the movie Trick or Treat. Like it just seems like a cool legend. Like you leave a pumpkin for Michael Myers. Speaking of which, when I went to, because I also went to Laurie Strode's house when I was in California. My buddy knows where all the locations are. And the people who live there are really sweet. They have pictures that show the house in the movie, and they have a fake pumpkin there. And so you can hold the pumpkin and sit where Jamie Lee Curtis is sitting in that picture. And yeah, they're totally chill.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's sweet.
Really cool if you guys get a chance to go.
I never saw them. I was at the intersection, and somebody else drove by in like a station wagon with like the old school like paneling on it. They're just like, "Welcome to Haddonfield." It was the funniest thing.
Oh, and you know what I thought? I'm gonna put more of these up on my Instagram here soon. But you know what? I took a picture of my friend. It's like, way to go, Haley. Gory. Way to go, Gory. Nice picture of the road you took there. But you know why I took a picture of the road? You know why? Because it's the road where Ben Tramer died. Never forget. Never Ben Tramer.
No.
Rest in peace.
Go put flowers on it.
And we also recreated. We went to the hardware store. We went to where the kid with the boombox, which he's from my town. Him and his dad played Michael Myers in the movie, and the kid with the boombox is his son Lance, and then his other son, who's also in Society, is in the movie later on. But they own like a music shop where you can buy like guitars or musical instruments in our town. So I don't know, a little fun fact.
Love it.
Little bit of Washington pride, right, Kim? Sup?
Yes.
So my girl. All right, but you've got some Canada pride here, Jay, because as I mentioned, while you popped away to get a drink or go to the loo or whatever you did, it's your business. This movie is filmed in BC, Canada. It's Canadian, eh?
Way to go! I heard it's great. I've never been. It's
closer to where I live than where you live. Yeah. You're over by like Ontario, right?
Yeah. So I'm like right near New York, and that is so far. That's so far from
the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were gonna come visit at one point, and then we've been calling it the chicken pot pie.
It was that year. It was that year it was gonna happen.
There was a chicken pot pie epidemic. Everyone got chicken pot pie, and then I didn't get to hang out with Jay. It really sucked.
One day.
Yeah, now my kid has chicken pot pie, and I have to hang out in this room so I don't get chicken pot pie. Why we picked that word? It's just because we were saying it in like Ubers and stuff. We didn't want people to freak out. It's the first word that came to mind.
Okay. I would be ecstatic to have some chicken pot pie right now, to be honest. Although it'd be really awkward on stream. You guys continue.
I apologize. This is like the most I've gone off topic, but I'm having a good time. I hope you guys are having a good time. Something else I like about this movie, I love the cast. This is a really fun, energetic cast. I've seen a lot of movies and franchises where, like you watch behind the scenes for, I think I like part 5 of Jason. I keep talking about Jason tonight, but the lead guy who plays Tommy, he did not know he was doing a Friday the 13th, and he was not very happy when he found out that he was, because a lot of people consider that kind of like, that's not serious acting. The cast in this movie, they know they're in a Halloween movie, and they are having a great time. Everyone's doing their best job. Everyone wants to be there. At least that's the impression I get.
Yeah.
They have good chemistry with each other.
Except for Jamie Lee Curtis. But I feel like she still was doing her best to send her character off. She says with a bit of poetry. Like she told him what she wanted her. She was the one who said, I want her to say she's not afraid. Like she still put her all into that scene because she wanted it to be a send off for Laurie. And she didn't, just phone it in. So even though she didn't want to do this movie, I
wish they figured out a reason to include that why she's allowed to escape and use a crane. That doesn't make any sense.
They mentioned that she's been on the roof a lot, and they thought she was suicidal. But I think she was setting it up.
She's just hanging out. She's allowed to use heavy machinery. You're complaining about the guy with the scissors.
Tatum, you watched the stream before. Be careful with the Dr. Pepper. Like 3 times on the show now. For some reason, if you put a straw in a bottle of Dr. Pepper, I need someone to Mythbusters this, but it sprays everywhere. Anyway, be careful out there, guys. I also like that Sarah is a lot like Laurie Strode. In this, she's kind of set up as a character who's really afraid of a lot of things, but she's kind of the person who has to be kind of brought out of her shell and kind of dragged into the events of the movie. So I think she's kind of a nice homage to Laurie.
No, I'd agree with that.
And I like that she kind of, like, at the end, where she has to, like, all right, she gets onto the roof. She has to go and, like, discover bodies, but she needs to try to keep her composure. And, like, going down the ladder over her dead, like, co-host of this whatever reality show, like, that would be so traumatizing. And she's still able to, like, kind of do work and try and get the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
Like, I would pass out. I would see that and just drop dead. Honestly, like, I don't think that's happening. Like, there's no way I'm crawling over a dead body. There's no way.
Really?
Oh, no way, man. I see
That's a
blood
Tuesday
and I
for me.
think.
Thing is, she saw him before they even went into the house. She saw him at the window. He's like, "Hey," I would have been like, "Nope, see you later."
No, I kind of get that because
Right.
I'm all about like horror movies and I just did Hollywood Horror Nights and I love that stuff. But when it comes to like, you know, stuff like, you know, Kim talks about like the real stuff, that's when I get a little. My friend, he took us on this horror tour and one of the stops was that hotel where the girl like, you know, ended up in the water tower.
Oh, Alyssa Lamb.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I didn't. I was like, nope. I'm staying in the car. Like that stuff, too much for me. So I get it.
I mean, I do like true crime tours and stuff, and in Pioneer Square, you're basically just always stepping over somebody's body. But I you know, we kind of play like 6 Degrees to a Serial Killer if you're from the Pacific Northwest. So I might be a little more desensitized to it than I should be.
Ooh.
Well, I'm friends with
Okay.
you, so that helps.
True.
I've been in the Pacific Northwest long enough. I think I count as being from here. So yeah, proud of it. Our Bigfoots and our sparkly vampires.
Yeah.
All the things.
All the things.
All the things. The movie's also really fast paced. I don't think it really slows down. And we've got lots of kinds of foo here. My boy Jay, I'm so hip now. I call people my boy. He mentioned the spice foo. Here's a little trip down memory lane to the chains. Chainsaw fight!
Hell yeah. I love that you cut your own self off. You're like, fuck it. Fuck what I'm saying. Like,
Whatever.
I
It's
thought
just
something
me.
went wrong, and I was like, "What's going on?" And then I see
Oh, I
everybody.
forgot that it knew.
I'm just too excited. I need to
I was so
play the
excited for that
chainsaw thing.
chainsaw fight.
Actually, I do like that because it's so weird.
It's
I love Freddy's martial arts, and I didn't notice it till this time that he was watching that movie, and that's why he does it. But obviously, this is somebody who, like my friend Knight, is super into martial arts movies, and he's kind of taught himself from watching movies.
And it's not out of his characteristic. That's what's weird. It's like a lot of
really
people knock
isn't.
him for doing a kung fu. First of all, he doesn't even do that much kung fu. He throws like one kick that hits. Then he does another kick that like he gets fucking manhandled. And
But he
gets
does kick Michael out a window.
Yeah, but like it's not really a big deal, I feel.
He was winging it.
He did
That's
like
all he
2
was
kicks that actually landed ever. And people are like, "Oh, Busta Rhymes kicked his ass." It's like, no. He got stabbed in the fucking neck twice. He got thrown over some shit. He got thrown over all over the place with one hand. Whoop, just toss him. He kicked him 2 times and people are like, "Oh, Busta Rhymes kicked his ass." I don't agree with that. Just because he made some sounds. Yeah, he broke his shovel in half.
But I think it's not fair because when Alabama does it in True Romance, everyone thinks it's adorable, but Busta's not allowed to get into it.
I think if this came out, I don't know, when flip mode was relevant, maybe.
All right, so let's take a look. Let's take a look at Busta's martial arts.
So you want to be on Dangertainment? Let's see what you got.
It's good.
It's so
10 out of
good.
10.
It's so good. good.
Hey, and he like the sounds. He's learning. He's teaching. Like maybe he takes classes outside. Like who knows? Just because we only see him watching the movie doesn't mean he's not like trained.
That's
I
true.
Who
took
knows?
a self-defense class, and they would tell you like to say things when you did things because it gave you more like pumph, you know?
Yeah,
So that's
it gives
what
you
he's
more
just-
pump, as you say.
You know what? I
You
just
can
made that
tell
word up.
It's a good word. I like it.
he
I'm
was
here for it.
waiting.
Kim gets
He was
me.
waiting for the day.
It's a P&W thing.
Waiting for the day. This has been happening so many times. I'm so sorry.
Go ahead, take it. Take it
I
away.
want to go for it.
Honey,
I know it's like we're all like
I grew up in a
talking over each
military base with 4 brothers. You just jump right in, all right?
other. Okay, no, because I don't want to come off as rude or nothing. I was like, wait, let me
Not at
wait
all.
my turn. Anyway,
Jump on in.
I was saying, it seems like he was waiting for the day that he can just do that roundhouse kick. Ever since he saw it, it's like, this is my moment. I'm going for it. He was just
Hell
winging
yeah.
it.
My time to shine.
Exactly. Why wouldn't you? Like, if
Yeah.
I've been watching all this shit, it's like the moment I have an opportunity to act like anyone in a horror movie, except for like splitting up and stuff, like I've been training for this. I know that I'm gonna have a one-liner, and I don't care how cheesy it comes off. But I also do, in the back of my mind, know that I'm on TV, and I am trying to get famous based off my Dangertainment enterprise. You see what I'm trying to do here?
I think I would.
So, like, I think
would
that
say, like,
I think that plays into why he was doing kung fu, and I don't think anyone has really talked on that. Is like he is somebody who's trying to be famous, and this is his one shot. There's a
He's an
real serial
entrepreneur.
killer right here. He can be the biggest badass, and if he can do it with kung fu, he would be the fucking legend. He would be the Chuck Norris of the 2000 generation.
and he's
Come on.
good. I like to think of it like, I watched documentaries saying that like Michael Jackson taught himself how to dance from watching like James Brown on TV.
Mm-hmm.
Busta has taught himself kung fu from watching movies. Like he mentions, I love when he narrates to himself when he's answering the door. He's like, interrupting my kung fu, gonna go answer the door. Oh yeah, I forgot watching that. Get back to that. Like he's super into it. He's a fan of this. Like I am of Buffy. So where I would try to do a kick and fail and be like, that'll put marzipan in your pie plate bingo. This is what he does.
I don't know if that's a reference or just you talking crazy shit.
If you watch Buffy, she gets out. They make a Buffy bot to take over for Buffy while she's dead, and its one-liners aren't very good. So that's what she says.
Nice.
But that's what I would say.
Very threatening.
Very good. Yes. Let's see. I'm trying to think of other things I like. All right. So, do we want to talk about things that maybe we don't like? Because like I said.
Sure.
On this show,
That's what people
I
want.
really try to,
quite a
even
list,
movies
yeah.
that people say are terrible, say, hey, this is somebody's favorite movie. And what's interesting about this franchise is every single one of these movies is somebody's favorite of the franchise.
Yeah.
But let's acknowledge some of the lesser points. Hit me,
Fair.
Jay. Come on. Get
The
it.
characters are cardboard, and like you mentioned, they have one quality. It's like, oh, you're the cooking guy, you're the horny guy.
Yeah.
Smack. Make sure you touch her ass on the way upstairs, just if she falls. And there's just this, or you're the, oh, I'm gonna overcorrect you with your, like whatever you're talking about. I'm gonna correct you in every sense of the
It's
word.
continually, not continuously.
It's just like, right. It's just, everybody is just, they've got one thing. And it's probably because we do start with the Lori stuff. Like, we lose a bunch of time as far as just building characters. And I don't think they wanted to build characters. It didn't matter. So I think that transitions to when, like, people die off. Like, you don't care about the guy who gets his head squished. Because
Yeah.
you don't really even know his name by that point. It's just like, well, who gives a fuck about that
Jim?
guy? There's a lot of moving
I don't know.
parts, and you
Jim.
don't really care.
That's the thing. A lot of the characters in this, like, their names aren't that memorable. I always remember the Spices guy. I love Rudy. I think he's really fun, just because he incorporates it into so many different things. But yeah, Sarah, they're all pretty, like Jay, like you said, they're pretty stock.
Yeah.
They get one trait, and that's it.
If that, because like I don't think that one guy, the one guy who gets the talking to from the girl who's correcting him, I don't think he had a trait.
It's just that he's horny, and I guess kind
The
of.
other guy was horny though. Was he also horny?
Oh no, they're both horny. You're right.
They're all horny.
Because the other guy's the more horny one with putting the camera in the tits and stuff.
The guy who looks like he was popular in high school, but like, is kind of a loser as an adult. Thomasine Nicholas. And then there's the guy who's kind of a greaser guy who's like, I'm too cool to be here, but I still want to get some.
Yeah, it's just like, I'm the guy who wants to make out.
Yeah.
Guys, I got a reminder from my brother Zigma in the chat. We did not do a Care Bear stare for my son. We always do Care Bear stares here because, magic. So I need everybody, I need you to pull up your shirt above your belly button. Otherwise, it will not work.
Oh, shit.
Point your belly button up to the sky. Throw all your rainbow goo from your belly to the Pacific Northwest region so that my son will get better. And I'm done. All right.
I didn't do it, but...
Do it. Do it. Do it. Don't you want my kid to get better? What, you don't like kids now?
Well, now he's going to get like the I Heart Goth thoughts in his head.
Can you at least put like a little heart hand around the heart on your shirt and send that to him? You're like a Care Bear cousin. Like you're doing it all fucked up, but it's still going to work.
Yeah, I'll just send
like that lion guy. Like your show's not going to be as popular, but you're still helping in your own way.
In the grand scheme of things, maybe I didn't pull my weight. And I'll let him know later on in life.
I feel like you're kind of pulling a grumpy bear here. I'm doing a full tender heart. A girl down here is doing that pink bear thing that's always doing some awesome shit. We got some shamrock green bear over here, and you're grumpy bearing it. But whatever. It's cool. Boop. Danny, you pull up your shirt all the time. All the time.
I kind of look like the lion guy, apparently.
I tease. No, my husband's the best.
He is. He's awesome.
He always does little dances and helicopter dicks if I'm having a hard day.
Hey, you need those. You need those.
You do. And if anyone tells you otherwise, women love a good helicopter dick.
Fair point. Or fair point. True. My subreddit got banned. I don't know why.
You had a subreddit? See, you're so much more hip than me. Like you think you're old, but
I had a subreddit like 5 years ago.
The pulse.
And then I left. And then somebody must have posted some dumb shit. And got
I bet you made a TikTok, right?
No.
Oh my gosh, your facial expression. You were so offended right then, and I love it.
Where I do my kung fu, ready?
Oh my gosh! So I kind of I've gotta. So Jay mentioned he has a lot of channels, so he does. I love Midcard Maniacs, because Danny and I are big wrestling fans. He has an extreme horror one I really like. I love all horror. He's got Bloodbath and Beyond that's still up, and then Bloodbath TV. He has his Jay Bond one, which is fun because he talks about things he's watching for the first time. But here is another one. If you're kind of like,
oh no,
he's rapping.
You're a shithead.
He has a channel where he does nerd raps. It's called like MC. What is it, Jay? Come on.
I forgot.
Shut up. You remember.
I need to know what this is. Shut up, please. I'm living for this right now.
MC Escher.
Yes, MC Escher. And it's actually really good. Like if you guys like the rap battle channel, like that's kind of what he used to do, but it was like nerdy raps. It was really fun.
Yeah, it's whatever. I do not promote that. So
he's never going to talk to me again, guys.
There's only a couple songs on there, so it is what it is. I had to remove some because, well, the word incel got fucking, it got weird, and I'm certain I came up with the term incel, which is a problem now. So I had to rip my shirts offline because I was just joking, and apparently there's a bunch of fucking idiots.
It's true. We get way off topic here. So we're talking about...
You did this.
I know, but I'm proud of your rapping. We're still buddies, right?
Yeah, it's fine.
We still gonna have a stream where we talk about penectomies or sharks or both?
I think it'd get demonetized immediately. I don't know if we can do that.
Well, can we talk about sharks someday?
Yes.
All right, cool. All right, we're still buddies. I know Kim, we're ride or die. She's not gonna abandon me. And Strange Monkey, I feel like It's like that Casablanca thing. This is the beginning of a beautiful friendship. So I'm not worried about you guys.
Hey, I haven't seen that. I'm saving it for my reaction channel.
I'm surprised with some of the movies you haven't seen. I'm like, well, fucking Roadhouse.
Okay, back to Resurrection. We gotta get back to Resurrection.
Sorry. We're talking about cons here. How do you guys feel with the writing? I think it's a little stiff in places. It's a little forced and on the nose. Like conversation in the beginning where she's like, "Oh, why did she decapitate him?" Like, you know, Busta narrating to himself. There's some places here where they obviously need some exposition. It's not very natural. Yeah. But I still contend that it's perfect. It fits the movie.
It fits what they're going for. And again, it fits the early 2000s. I will say when I rewatch it, I fast forward or skip past Laurie's death. It bugs me every time, and I'm like, I don't want to watch this again. I've seen it. I watched it again this rewatch just to say that I did, but it bothers me so much I actually bypass it.
Like how I stopped Moulin Rouge before she dies.
Yeah. Oh, I do the same thing.
You and me, girl, we're the same brain.
Fucking
brain.
Spoilers.
Oh my god! Watch more movies.
I watched fucking Christina Aguilera's music video, and that's all I know. Oh my god.
Strange Monkey. What are some things about this movie that you're not particularly a big fan of?
Well, I mean, we kind of covered most of it. Like, I've got like Michael's hair, Harold's scissors, Patience wandering around aimlessly. For me, it's like the little things. Like, for example, little things that I notice as I watch it over and over. Like, Laurie is talking about how she's not afraid and she has to be sure that it's him. It's like there's blood on the knife. That's all you need to know there. And then there's another weird thing. It's like I don't think the person that was in charge of the editing for this movie, like I don't think he knew what was going on because, like, at the party where Deckard is in there with all those people, there's a guy that wanders in there and he's like, "Hey, is this that Michael Myers thing?" It's like, "Yeah, okay, cool." But then in the scene before that, where I think it's Katie Sackhoff's character, she starts yelling and everybody in the room is like screaming, and that same guy is in there talking about, "Turn it down, man, turn it down." So I guess it's like backwards. He was already in the room.
Yeah.
And a scene later, he wanders in there asking if that's the string. I'm like, wait a minute, that guy was already in there.
It's weird. Yeah, I agree with that for sure.
Yeah.
When it comes to like editing and stuff, and you start to, especially on rewatches, I don't think that's something that anybody would notice on the first watch because we kind of have the basis of it. We know the gist, so we are specifically targeting certain aspects. Like, wait, what's that?
Yeah.
What's that? And I would argue. So one thing that I noticed, and I don't know if this is 100% accurate, but when Katie Sackhoff was about to get killed, the arm that came up looked like Busta's arm and not Michael Myers' arm.
You have a keen eye for detail.
Are you trying to say that Busta killed her?
I'm just saying, he said he was downstairs. We saw him, and then he ducked off like Pokeroo.
Do you guys think the mask kind of looks like Busta? Like, I kind of feel like it does a little bit.
No.
Yeah. I feel like the facial structure, it's not that captured. I feel like it kind of looks like Busta's face. Like, in part 5, they did a cast of Greg Nicotero, who does like Walking Dead. That's why it's got like a completely different face. And the original cast is obviously William Shatner. But this one, it shares a lot of similar facial features to Busta Rhymes.
It would be cooler. Because Busta's dope as hell.
That's
true.
And I would like a Busta Rhymes.
How come they didn't put Fire It Up when he was in the fire?
Yeah. Missed opportunity.
Missed opportunity indeed. Also, I wanted to mention something about what Kim said. So you talked about Laurie's death, right? So here's something that might make you appreciate it more.
Okay.
So Jamie Lee Curtis, went up to Brad Laurie, who plays Michael Myers. And he had just come up with his girlfriend, and she says, "Okay, this is how we're going to do it." And she goes up and she kisses him, and his girlfriend's like, "Wait, what the fuck? I didn't think you were kissing Jamie Lee Curtis in this movie. Aren't you Michael Myers?" And he's like, because because she was showing him that she wanted to kiss her brother in it. But
Yeah,
I think it's a fun story.
okay, no, I dig that. I don't know why her death specifically, like, even if it's on television, I catch it on TV, I'll like mute it until it's past it. I don't know why it gets to me so much. But yeah, it bugs me in a way I'm not usually bothered by horror deaths.
What about it bothers you?
I don't know if it's that I like in Scream with Drew Barrymore, she's a name, but it's you're not attached to her yet, right? And I think
We're always attached.
Well, sure. But like it's Laurie, and there's something about, and it's different even in like 4 and 5 and 6 when they talk about her dying and in a car accident, because you don't see it, so it's like abstract. I don't know. It makes me anxious. I'm like, no, this just isn't. It never feels right. It never feels right. So I feel like I can't watch it because I'm like, this isn't right. It's wrong. It shouldn't be happening. Yeah.
Just remember, it was just a bad dream. Halloween Resurrection never happened.
There is a theory. There's a dream catcher theory where some people say that all the movies are nightmares that Laurie Strode has.
Yeah, I've heard that theory.
PTSD of Michael Myers. So you can view it
That
that
would be
way.
interesting.
I do want to say to Zigma, I told you guys he's really sensitive about that. Okay, so let's just try to be like more open-minded and accepting of people who have different eyes than you. Okay, guys, all right, he's sensitive. Let's not make him feel bad about his wonky eye. You're fine, buddy.
I like his good eyes. Excellent.
I
The
think
other
the
eye
good
is
eye's the one
also
that's following
excellent.
out because he can see shit that I can't see.
Great
Exactly.
eyes. Both of them. Both
you.
of them are great.
And seriously,
Equally.
refer me to your dentist because, like, I have way too many of these
Great
things,
work.
and
Yeah.
I don't want all these weird white rocks in my mouth. So
Thank you.
help me out. There is one line in here that I think hasn't aged well. Like I said, had they been blackface, this movie would have not aged well at all. But at one point, Katie Sackhoff says, screwing a music major would be tantamount to lesbianism. It's like,
God.
I don't know about that line.
I didn't even think like that's 2002. Like those same jokes were being made in 2013. Like
Yeah.
I don't know if people watch Glee and stuff. Like
Oh yeah.
you're making gay jokes about people in choir and
Mhm.
all that kind of stuff.
Gilmore
There's a
Girls,
lot of-
man, has some horrible lines in it. Yeah.
Well,
Mhm.
Early
What do you guys
2000s
think
is
about-
bad.
What do you guys think about the music in this?
I think it's forgettable, to be honest.
I was gonna
because
say,
I
yeah, I
don't
can't
remember
actually
shit.
remember.
I think it's a
Like the
nice mix
score?
of the original.
Sure.
Let's
I didn't
see.
pay attention. I wish they had some hoo-ha, hoo-ha. That's one of my old favorites.
I would have really liked to see. I wanted to see Miles and Sarah meet up at the end. I think what we were talking about earlier. I'm just gonna call you SM because Strange Monkey's a lot to say. Or strange or monkey.
Strange.
Monkey. How we were talking earlier.
SM is cooler.
whatever you it doesn't matter. You can call me whatever you want. Any of those
Okay,
names.
so I like Monkey. So anyway, Monkey, how we were talking earlier, how they had that deleted scene, they should have kept it in. I feel like because he saves her life, I feel like her telling the news report, thank you, Deckard, for you saved my life. I wanted her to meet him, especially because there, you always hear about creepy guys on the internet, and when you have a YouTube channel. I actually love people DMing me and stuff. I haven't had a bad experience yet. But you always hear about like the creepy person who's going to DM you, slide into your DMs. And I think the fact that this guy is genuinely sweet, like he talks about how like back in the old days, like they would court women who they'd never meet and stuff. Like,
But he's
I wanted
15
him to get
years
the
old.
girl.
I was gonna say, yeah, he's in high school.
Yeah,
He's like he's playing it up, right? Like if they ever met, like
yeah, that would not look good for her.
I
There's
was
police
rooting
there.
for him to get the girl. Like at the party, he's not even caring about the party. Like that's the whole reason they had this whole room is because he wants to keep an eye on her.
Yeah, he
He
cares.
didn't
She
care
doesn't.
about that party. He could get
Okay, so do
less
you
than
guys think that Miles is like the nice guy, or do you like him?
I do not. I mean, he's fine. Whatever
Yeah.
he's doing, he's like, he's too young. He is lying to her
Yeah,
about his age. So even if they got together, like,
it's icky.
not working out.
Maybe she's lying about her age. Maybe she's super smart and she's like a Doogie Howser. You don't know.
But like, yeah. Well, you would know if
didn't
Doogie
mind
Howser
it.
walked in your fucking house because he's 4 feet tall. Okay? It's
By
like
the way,
danger.
Tatum, it's an Oktoberfest Samuel Adams, and it is pretty good. There you go.
I think that, like, I'm just happy that it didn't happen, but at the same time, I needed something, like, some kind of confrontation should have happened, because at the end of the day, it's just like, way to go, you helped her.
So you don't ship
Okay.
it. You don't ship it.
Absolutely not.
What the fuck? Okay, Monkey. Kim,
For legal
do you
reasons.
ship
For
it?
legal
Do you
reasons.
ship it?
If I was in high school, I'd be shipping
Like
it.
5 years, sure.
When
I feel
was,
like he looks like an
was
old
younger,
man. I
I
think he got
preferred
held
the,
back.
Did they
I
ever stay?
preferred
Like,
the
we know he's
ending.
in high school. Did they stay?
He's a junior, yeah. His buddy's
okay.
like, you're a junior, bud.
So he's
No,
16
no,
or
no, no, no,
17?
no, 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 no. No, I think you're wrong. I think he is in college because he
He's
says
not
they
in college.
have he says they have to go to the party because freshmen never get invited to the parties.
Yeah,
So
but
they
then they
have
talking
to
about high
go.
school freshmen.
I think he's a freshman in
He
college.
calls him a junior.
He says
does?
he
Yes.
says to him, he's like, you told her you're a graduate student. Graduate of what? Junior high? Like that's what
Yeah.
he tells him.
That's it. So maybe grade 10.
So he's in high school?
Yeah, he's in high school. He should not be getting with her.
Icky.
I believe he is. Yeah, he is.
College?
Yeah, so that's
Monkey, how do you feel
that's
about
why.
this?
It played out
I mean-
the way it needed to play out. I mean, yeah, I see what you're saying about him being heroic and like rescuing her, but there was so many different endings that I think the one that they went with was fine. You know, Freddie got to live, and Deckard still got to save her, although he didn't get to meet her face to face. But you know, he felt good about saving her life at the end of the day.
Yeah, the party
However,
rejoiced.
I wanted the ending when I was younger. I wanted the ending where Sarah actually kills him for good with the axe, but that was not going to happen. That was not going to fly.
That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
I think, yeah, the Deckard ending. So, like, I did mention that I would have liked them to meet, but at the same time, it would have been so fucking awkward. It's like, you're a young boy. See you later.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe this is great. It's like, she's good over here. Well, not good. She's traumatized for fucking life now. But Deckard is happy as fuck at his party. He's like, I helped. Everything's good. And it helps him, especially as a junior, boost up his popularity because they're like, oh my God, look at you. You're a hero. Because honestly, that guy probably wasn't getting by very good in high school. And everybody's like, hey, look at you now. Way to go,
He
Deckard.
went from being the
Red.
quiet guy at the party, and then all of a sudden he's the man because he's
Right, he
saved
was-
this girl's life.
Yeah, he was the nerd that snuck in to use a computer, and then all of a sudden
Okay,
he's
so
like
guys,
the guy.
my grandparents were crazy in love, and they were about 8 years apart. So what if he continues to court her via the internet?
She
So-
won't let it go. She won't let it go.
We call that grooming.
I was gonna say that's grooming. Like I do theater and film with high schoolers, and so like I get real weird about some of the age stuff because a 15-year-old, a 14, 15-year-old, because if he is a freshman, then he's 14, 15, and a college student, like that is so darn icky because like they're children, they're tiny little baby children who their brains are just stupid.
Okay.
That's it.
Monkey,
It's-
you're my expert here. Monkey, I need to hear from you. How old is he?
I really don't know. I want to say that he's probably around 17. I don't know.
He's almost legal.
I want to
he's
say
the
he's like
pursuer
borderline.
here.
Like he's,
She's not
Right.
grooming him. He found her.
Yeah, because they don't know how. Because he lied to her. That's the other
He
thing.
lied to her.
Yeah.
She was still
Wait.
He's a young person who's just fishing in waters too big for him
Are
right
you
now.
saying that every time I asked ASL, they may have not given me the correct answer?
I still ship
You know,
it.
he's bullshitting her. You know, it's like it's not.
Yeah,
the most
Yeah, then he
legit
becomes
thing.
an asshole.
So like it would be wrong if she did it, but she's kind of like, oh, whatever. Like she's not that into it. He's super into it. So if he
because he's
perseveres,
a child.
yeah, he's a child. But he's
Children,
gonna be
just like older chicks.
he's
that's
gonna
just
be
how
a
it was.
man in like 5 years. He'll have all the right pubes to where he can pursue her.
Then come back in 5 years, pal.
Yeah.
Way to go.
Yes.
Ride it out.
You
Just
don't
don't
want,
talk to
Kim,
him.
how do
you
you
don't
feel?
want
Do you ship it?
Not now.
Am I the only one who wants them to end up together?
I mean, like,
Yes.
it's I can't.
It's a no.
I think it's because I'm a cougar and you guys are regular people.
Right?
My
It's
husband's
just-
younger than
it's
me.
the age. It's like I see what you're saying, but it's the age thing, you know. And it's like if they try, like imagine if they go on a date and all of a sudden it's a sting operation. Chris
Yeah.
Hansen comes out of nowhere, exploring the Myers house. Are we?
Oh,
I need to
my
see
grandparents
a
are
catch a
6
predator.
years apart. But these guys are about 6 years apart, right?
But
Yeah,
6
but it
years
depends
apart,
on when
Yeah.
when it happens.
But if
Because
he's
if you're a
patient-
growing boy in high school, you are not the same as like a
But
25
he
year old
looks like he's 30. He
Well, the
already hit the
actor
puberty.
probably was.
Thanks, baby.
I wish I
Can you
could
ship it?
find the actual.
Prepared enough to ship anybody in that movie.
I mean, like,
Danny's not taking this shit, dude.
I mean, it
I'm
all
like 3
depends
years
on,
older
how
than
far
Danny.
he is.
Do you guys ship that?
How
when
many
did you
years old?
meet? I mean, yes, but
But
like,
that's-
I'm a cougar.
but if he was 14 and you were 17 when you met and started dating,
Yeah.
that would be weird.
You're right. That's gross.
Like,
Okay, fine.
I can
don't
see her
ship
doing
it
math in her head.
anymore.
Oh.
When someone
I
is
give
like
in.
25 and 28, not weird. When you're 14 and 17, weird. It matters.
You're
who
right.
you are.
Honestly, I didn't actually used to date guys younger than me because I have younger brothers, and so I'd always think like, oh, you're like my brother's age,
Yeah.
you know. And then I got to be an adult, and it's not such a big
Nobody
deal.
wants to do that.
Okay, here's
Again,
what I'm
I see
hoping.
what you're saying, but it's like that's what it comes down to. It's the age. Like I get what you're saying. Like it would be nice if it, that little romantic thing, but you deep down in your heart, that's not gonna last.
You're right. You're
That's
right,
the
Monkey.
thing.
Monkey, you were right. You're my Jiminy Cricket. I will always listen to you. Here's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that they stay in touch. Stay in touch. Years down the line.
You're a creepy
Yours-
ass Jiminy Cricket, I tell you that.
Years down the
If
line.
I looked over and saw you on my shoulder, I would freak the fuck out.
They happen to meet when he's like visiting someplace and she runs into him and she's like, oh my God, you saved my life like 10 years ago. And then they fall in love.
And that would be adorable. I would watch that movie and ship it then.
Okay.
That's acceptable. That would be
Yep.
completely fine.
Yep.
Now I'm no longer a creep. Except for to Jay, but who cares what Jay thinks?
Many
I'm
people. I
sorry,
think.
Jay. You know I'm mean on my show.
Well,
Oh,
I didn't think
no.
you were this mean to me.
Oh, no,
Be
I
mean
love
to
you.
everyone else.
No,
Come on.
I love you. You're my Yoda. Okay, Monkey's my Jiminy Cricket. You're my Yoda. Remember back in the day when I didn't know
What
anything?
kind of
You taught me
universe is this?
you taught me all these editing things.
Oh, yeah,
And
okay.
Kim is the Romy to my Michelle.
Thank you.
Thank you. I love you.
Good high school reunion, I heard. That's
Okay,
good.
so let's get. I promised you guys, even though I'm 3 beers in, but I also promised you last week that we were drinking on this one. It was going to be a different
3
kind of
whole
drink.
beers?
Mm-hmm.
I drank all of my tea.
These are the beers I drank. But I haven't been eating much either because I feel guilty not like making food for my kid. And he told me that today I made pizza and he's like, Mom, pizza doesn't taste the same when it's in the bedroom and not in the living room. Their living room is where pizza should be enjoyed. So I ended up having to eat the pizza by myself.
He's not wrong, though. That is where it should be enjoyed. That's like when I eat at my desk and then when I eat in my living room, it's like eating
That's
here,
true.
it doesn't feel like nothing's changed in my life. I need to go and
agree.
experience something else, then go back to the shit I was doing.
I
get it.
agree.
Mhm.
Tatum, you're the Tatum to my Sydney.
Wait, you let him out?
Here. What? You can get stuck in my garage door anytime.
Danny's like, wait, you let him out?
No, I didn't let him out. So this is what I've been doing. He's in my bedroom where he has a private bathroom attached, and then I knock on the door. I run back to the kitchen where there's a little office in between, and I'm like, "Hey, do you want an ice cream sandwich?" And I have a mask on, and then I chuck them into the room. And then sometimes I knock on the door and I'll leave a little plate there. But I was like, "Hey, you want me to leave a plate of pizza?" And he's like, "No, it doesn't taste the same in here."
I wish you were my fucking neighbor. Just slide ice cream sandwiches through my mail fucking thing.
You know, that reminds me of Jay, going off topic here again, but I had the bestest friend when I was a kid. I lived in England on the Air Force Base, and which, by the way, you can see where I grew up. If you guys watch World War Z, when you see the store and stuff, it's all over ground. That's the base I grew up on. But anyway, my neighbor, we had windows that faced each other, and so we would do like the flashlight thing, and we were really into the Narnia books. And like he had ones I didn't have, and so we'd be like, "Oh, dude, you want silver chair? All right, open your window. All right, here it comes. And we would chuck it. I would chuck it to his window. I remember one time I didn't make it, and it was like on the lawn all night. But yeah, that was super fun.
Awesome.
You guys didn't need this much backstory. This is what happens
I'm
when
going to an ice cream sandwich right now, so I'm that's most where my mind is.
Honey, you're in Seattle. If you can wait a few hours, I'll throw an ice cream
Books
sandwich
are
at your
different
door.
than ice cream sandwiches. That's a fact.
I'll take
I'm
a look.
sorry. I will bring you an ice cream sandwich when I see you at CryptoCon.
I love that Strange Rocky looks unimpressed.
I'm sorry.
I'm just listening.
Strange Monkey, I
no,
know that Jay's over in Ontario.
Yeah.
Kim's a local to me anyway. Where are you located in the world?
I am all the way out in Florida.
Oh. The alligators and all that stuff. The gators.
Yep. Yep.
I had a friend who lived there, and they said that you have like gators in your backyard.
Got to be careful. They might come out of nowhere.
There's this one short I watched called Once Bitten. It's got the gal from Darling in it and Jugface. And she's so concerned that there's a vampire at this hotel, and she's in Florida.
What?
And she's watching this show called like Hokum or Truth or something like that, like about urban legends. And it ends up being that she has an alligator in the pipes.
Ah,
It's really good.
That's wild.
I've heard
Florida
that.
has some craziest stories.
All right. This is why
back
I'm
to Halloween Resurrection.
Back
Let's
to
go.
Halloween. So, okay, we're gonna get deep now, as deep as we can.
I've been waiting. I'm very deep into this.
I sense a tone of mocking there, Thick. That means good, right? That means like it's good that you got a little.
Yeah,
extra.
it's like you got a little extra, but you look good doing it.
So like we're thick, right?
Yeah, that's us.
And it's good, right?
I hope.
But with 2 C's.
With 2 C's. The 3 C's, apparently some other dickhead jacked it, and it's not good. That was
3
the
C's
comment that you were talking about. Yeah, apparently. There's like a guy who had a 3 C's. He like made his brand, and he's just like an asshole. So people have complained about my hat because of 3 C's, but it only has 2 C's. Anyway,
I like it.
Let's back to the subject.
So here's something. John Carpenter didn't like this, but this movie does have a theme to it, and it's kind of summed up when Busta Rhymes gives his speech at the end. Mm-hmm. And he says a lot of things throughout this movie, and I think this movie does have something to say, whether you agree with it or not, but it's worth discussing. Busta Rhymes says that, people don't want actual reality. And that's true, because reality is boring. Have you guys ever seen those streams where someone records like their life for 24 hours? There's a lot of them making a sandwich, doing boring shit. You don't want to see that. You want to see them do some crazy shit. That's not reality. You want to see something that has that razzle dazzle that Busta Rhymes is talking about. They don't want to see, the people watching don't want to see them going through this house that's really old. They want to see something scary happen, right?
Yeah.
And at the end of the movie, he's changed his opinion. He says Michael Myers isn't a soundbite. He's pure evil, a killer shark. And I think what they're saying here, even at the end, the mortician calls Michael Myers like a celebrity. He's like, "Oh, we've got a celebrity here." And I think it's kind of commenting on kind of the celebrityism of, I don't know if that's a word, but how people celebritize serial killers like Ted Bundy, or people
Right.
will wear shirts of Charles Manson like they're celebrities. And I think the movie's theme is trying to say that they're not. They're people who've done really horrible things. And when we forget about that, when we forget that they've actually done something truly evil, we make ourselves like kind of distant from the reality of what actually happened. We make ourselves insensitive to the victims. We also make ourselves vulnerable to something like that happening to us because we see it almost like it happened in a movie, and then
And
we
it
become
can't ever
blind.
possibly happen to us.
Exactly. Then we forget that it can happen to us. We can be that person who is
Right.
victimized by somebody who's just evil. So
Something
I don't know.
that
What do you guys think?
I think that's absolutely correct.
Good point.
Even just talking in the horror realm, and I don't want to stay on the topic too much, obviously, because we want to kind of move on. But Tiffany Shepis, very known B movie actress, her daughter was shot in a school shooting. And that's as close to home as something like that has gotten to me. Like just watching her and then seeing the effects that it had on her family, and her daughter now being an advocate for like, hey, gun laws and shit. And she's like going and speaking and meeting Biden and stuff like that. It's like, holy shit. Like this stuff does happen. And I do think that true crime, and I love watching true crime stuff, but you don't think of it when you're watching the actual like documentaries or the movies and stuff. Like I love true crime, but you don't really think about how it affects the families. And Philip DeFranco just posted a video yesterday about it, saying like, hey, here's somebody who was affected by a tragedy that now has a new show that is like, it's affecting her right now. And she thought it was going to be a documentary, and it became a dramatization and almost a comedy and a spoof on what she has dealt with her mother's death, which is fucking crazy. So fuck that.
We kind of watch these things like, like one of the worst ones I think is The Haunting of Sharon Tate. And we watch it and we see them. We see them as like characters in a horror movie, and we forget that that was a real person who was really victimized.
Yeah, that same dickhead did a
characters.
Nicole
He did
Brown too.
Nicole Brown too, and that's another person who was truly, really victimized. And we watch so many movies, we get them confused. I think sometimes, like it's not the same as Michael Myers. That really happened. I think one time where it crossed the line for me, when you do YouTube and stuff, a lot of times people send you stuff, and we got a box from like a serial killer thing, and it was all fine and good. Like I liked they sent us a shirt of John Wayne, from the movies, but he had the Gacy makeup. I was like, oh, that's kind of funny. But then they sent us like a pillowcase of like Ted Bundy and stuff. And I'm like, okay, that's crossing the line. These are people who have done horrible things, like not just to people, but to women.
Yeah.
And it's not entertaining, and it's not funny, and it's not something I get excited about, something that is horrifying. Interesting, yes, but horrifying. I mean, Kim, I know you explore that a lot.
Yeah, I talk pretty extensively about true crime. It's part of my podcast. Obviously, I do the tours and everything. And something I find, and I've talked on panels about this, the celebrity of murder culture. And for me, it's really gross that most people could name 5 serial killers and very few could name 5 of the victims of a serial killer. So it's something I try really hard when I'm talking about a case, when I'm doing my presentations or covering something for the podcast. Like I always say names. I try to not glamorize or focus too much on the glory of it, because I think we push a lot of these killers into that kind of, to bring it back around to horror, we turn them into the boogeyman. We turn them into these larger than life. And so we can detach ourselves from it, because then it feels like something that didn't really happen. And that weakens the impact. It turns them into celebrities, and they shouldn't be. So
There's a difference between like Ted Bundy and Jason Voorhees. Jason
Oh.
Voorhees is fictional. You can love Jason Voorhees. Get him tattooed
him.
on your freaking arm. I don't
wear
care.
a t-shirt with him on
Big
there.
Exactly. You can have fun with that. You can celebrate him. But Ted Bundy is a real person who did horrible things to people. And
Yeah,
you wouldn't
absolutely.
probably enjoy him so much if he popped into your bedroom window.
Yeah.
And I think that's what this movie is saying is in their world, Michael Myers is real. And they're exploiting that. They're exploiting that with a show. They're exploiting that for the clicks, for the views.
But you look at Ghost Hunters, and it's the same thing, right?
Exactly. And Busta, I think his character Freddy realizes by the end of it that it's not right. That this isn't something that should be celebrated or given attention to. That Michael Myers is in their world, Michael Myers is Ted Bundy or the Gray Man or something horrible like that. And he's like, no, it shouldn't be celebrated. We should know to fear that. We should know that there could be other people like that. We should take this as a cautionary tale, not some kind of entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think Zach Baggins, is that his name?
Yeah.
Zach Baggins?
Is that a Hobbit?
We're
Frodo's a Hobbit. Frodo Baggins.
So Zach Baggins should take a clue then. Hey, back
I
out
don't
of
know
there.
Zach Baggins. I know Zach Morris, the
Zach
Saved by the
Baggins
Bell
is
guy, and also seasons.
No, yeah, of course.
Zach
we
Baggins
know
is a paranormal investigator.
He's a paranormal
Oh,
investigator.
you're right. The guy who does. I know who you're talking about. The guy he did
The
that.
Ghost Hunter stuff.
I talk a lot of smack about him. I had to review his documentary, and I remember when I was still doing Horror Honeys and Belladonna, and I can't remember if that's the movie where like I finished like a bottle of wine within the first 30 minutes because I was so pissed, and I remember messaging the editor being like, I need to go buy more alcohol, and you guys are paying for it because you're making me watch this stupid documentary.
That one. Are you talking about the Demon House one he did?
Demon House. That was it. Yes, Demon House.
That was terrible.
It was.
But again, that's the same kind of thing where you take a house and you're exploiting a tragedy.
Yeah.
Like the Amityville house is a great example. Something horrible really did happen there. The house is not haunted. It's been multiple people have said that the Amityville horror story was a hoax that they came up with over drinks.
Yep.
But something horrible really did happen there, and the amount of Amityville werewolf, Amityville Karen, all these things, it's really disrespectful to something really scary to happen to real people.
I think at some point, like, I kind of get it. Like, I get why people would exploit it, not necessarily saying that I would, but like, I get after some time has passed, it's fun for legend, because we watch movies that are probably based on legends that maybe stuff did happen for, obviously not Halloween. Well, I don't know. But I mean, there's a lot of horror movies that we probably do watch that are based on something, and we do like them, like The Conjuring and stuff, even though, that's up for debate. The Warrens are questionable at best.
I agree with that.
However,
on the Warrens, it's a bad time.
And I think it's fun too. I mean, I think serial killers like Kim does. I've watched Kim's, dissertations about serial killers, and I think they're fascinating. I want to know what leads somebody who's an ordinary person to do something that I couldn't imagine ever doing. I think that is absolutely fascinating, and I think we should research, and I think we should learn about it and talk about it. I think where the line is drawn is when we celebritize it, or when we forget that it's not a movie, that it's something that really happened to people,
Yeah, agreed.
Didn't they do a movie with Zac Efron? He was Ted Bundy.
Ted Bundy,
like
and
that.
everyone's like, he's so hot. Oh my God. And it just
And when
kind of.
I remember it seemed like they wanted to glorify that. And I'm thinking, this guy did some horrible shit. Like, I remember in high school, we had a psychology class and we were learning about Ted Bundy, John Wayne Gacy, Charles Manson, and the stuff that they did. It was just horrifying. And I'm like, why would they? And then they make this Netflix movie and they made it seem like he's such a likable guy. He's this badass. I'm like, no, people, this guy stuck funnels in people's heads and they put acid in people's skulls and shit.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
part
what
of
they
the
were
thing
trying to do
to
was
replicate
show
the appeal.
Yeah,
they're trying
Because
to show
there
how
was an appeal like that. Which is
one,
weird.
a lot of people did have big crushes on Ted Bundy, and they wanted you to understand the time, but they also wanted you to understand, like, because when you tell somebody I dated Ted Bundy, they're gonna be like, "Why were you so fucking stupid?" But he was very charming, and they wanted to show how somebody could get sucked into this relationship and then realize that they're trapped, they're dating a serial killer, and I think that's what they were trying to do.
He also, I will say, and I think they did this part of it, I thought, pretty well. They pulled there's parts of the movie that are directly out of the trial, and Ted Bundy's trial was the first nationally televised, the first criminal trial to be nationally televised, and that is part of what created that celebrity, is that if his trial hadn't been on television, people wouldn't have seen it. They would have read an article here and there, but it kind of would have gone, I think, out of their heads eventually. But in televising it, they created a celebrity.
And he represented himself.
And the judge, even, my God, there's a bit in the movie, and that was pulled directly from the trial.
The title's pulled from the trial.
Mm-hmm. And some of the stuff that the judge said to him, some of the incidents that happened in court, like word for word, what happened in his trial.
The judge basically said, "You're a highly intelligent person. I'm really sad that."
Yeah, I'm so sorry that such a young man like you, and that's part of what, like, his girlfriend that he was dating in the movie. She reported him when two of the women that he'd abducted at one of the lakes here. He'd abducted two women, broad daylight, same day, and there was witnesses, people who heard him say, "My name is Ted," people who could, like, identify him, or who at least they had sketches and stuff. And his girlfriend at the time was like, "That kind of seems like my boyfriend," and called the tip line to report him, but she kept dating him. Anyway. It's
kind of a Pacific Northwest thing too. If you talk to people kind of the generation above me, like, you're a boomer generation, a lot of people will have, like, I've heard, Ted Bundy offered me a ride, or Ted Bundy did this. I saw Ted Bundy here. It's kind of a Pacific Northwest thing where a lot of people have stories about.
Oh yeah. And a family friend who went to school with him, and she'll tell stories about who he was, and a time when she sort of felt like she saw a shift in him. Where he kind of turned into a different person to who she first met, and she thinks it was around when he first started killing. And that's again that 6 degrees of serial killers that we play here.
Wild.
Yeah. Anyway, going on a very different.
They're in this movie that's really cheesy and fun, and I consider a beer and pizza movie. I think there are some deeper themes here, and I think they do have some truths to them. Mm-hmm. So yeah, even this movie that people call the worst movie, the worst Halloween movie, I think it has some things that can teach us about what it is to be human.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what I'm always preaching on this show. It's like, let's not discount anything, because movies are hard to make, guys. They cost a lot of money. They take a lot of time. People work really hard on them. And a lot of times I think we discount a lot of things that have things to show us, have things that would entertain us, have things that can give us something to talk about. And this is a movie, just like, a lot of the other movies in this franchise, that deserves to be noticed. It deserves to be seen. It deserves to be talked about.
Absolutely. I think that people hate it for the wrong reasons. I think there are certain moments that stick out amongst others that piss people off. Like, if you removed Kung Fu Busta Rhymes, I don't think it's... Yeah, I would be sad as well, but I think that, like, most people would like this more than 5 and 6. Like, come on.
All right, Jay, take over.
Are you kidding me?
Love Part 5 so much.
I feel like it's more of a, for me, it's a toss up between this and Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. But
I get that.
I mean, I have more of an appreciation for this one now, but when I have to compare 5 and Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, that's because they did a lot of stupid stuff in Halloween 2. I was like, what is this?
That's true. That's what's tough. Is like I don't think that this is the worst Halloween.
No, I don't think so either.
But I don't think it's a great movie. But I do think that it's, it's not one
Where
of the
do you
worst.
guys place this in your rankings?
That's a great question.
I used to.
It is closer to the bottom, but it's not like crazy low.
Mm-hmm.
Let me look at my letterbox.
For me, is probably still my least favorite. I love part 5. I'm just gonna say that I love part 5. It's ridiculous and silly.
Oh my gosh, I want you to be here for part 5. Are we talking about are you on that one?
I don't remember. I don't remember. Which one am I? I think I'm talking part 2 with you. When is part 5? Because I love it.
I gotta look it up now. I was drinking on this one because Jay was like drinking, and he's like kind of a
drunk.
Yeah. Now I'm a little inebriated.
Okay, so I think that
for part 5 I've got me, Jack Stance, and 100 by Heart. But if you love part 5, I want you here for that. It's gonna be October 5th.
October 5th.
Because Horror Addicts is one of them, but that's my husband, so we can have another guest.
I think I would be able to do October 5th, so let's chat.
Let's do that. Putting you down.
Okay. I'm gonna do that. I'm putting it in my calendar.
I just want to say where mine is at. So Resurrection, like I said, I did enjoy it. I don't think it ranks high, but there are redeemable qualities. It is
very well said.
Third from the end for me. So it's not.
What are your bottom 2?
Halloween 5 and Halloween 2. Rob Zombie's Halloween 2.
I love Halloween 2. It's my number 3.
My ranking is kind of probably way different than a lot of people.
We have different brains, dude, but they're both beautiful in their own ways.
Yeah. But I mean, it is what it is. I don't necessarily hate any movie in the Halloween franchise.
That's the thing.
They all do their own thing.
This is a franchise I can marathon, and I think honestly, for me, this and 5 are at my bottom. I think I like it better than 5, maybe, but they're both pretty close to the bottom. That doesn't mean I don't like them. I just like the other ones more.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's it. That's what it is. And in comparison to other movies too, like the worst of this franchise is still better than a lot of other movies that I watch.
Absolutely.
I still think it's better than Texas Chainsaw Next Generation. But I like that one too. So, What about you, Monkey?
I literally just wrote the whole list down while you guys were talking. Because I don't have letterboxes, so I'm just thinking in my head, okay.
Get a letterbox. Come on. Fun.
I have to get one. So it would be
Kim, are you on Letterboxd?
I am. I'm not always great at updating it, but I am on Letterboxd.
All right, we should be friends on Letterboxd. By the way, I'm on Letterboxd, everybody.
It's not I would say Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 is the worst, but it would be 1, 2.
I love that one.
Look, I get he tried to do his own thing.
I still love you, Monkey, and your eye.
As I said, thank you. As I said in my video, he went full Rob Zombie. Never go full Rob Zombie because you get the end result is Halloween 2.
I love Halloween 2.
Okay, yeah, you're right. That's full. That's fully.
I don't know. I don't hate Resurrection anymore.
We're still friends.
We're still friends, Gory. It's okay. You're gonna be just fine.
I always say, honestly, we don't need to agree about things. If you love horror movies, even if it's a completely different one than I like, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
So I will say this.
And I know you love horror.
I like the the
hobo.
The hobo hoodie
Hell
thing.
Yeah, with the hood and everything.
If you get a chance, watch our stream on Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, because we got really deep into that one, and I do think it's horribly underrated. It's number 3 on my list.
I'll say this: I hate
and
the
watch
director's
the theatrical cut, not the director's cut.
I was just gonna say that I like the theatrical cut of both films. I don't like the director's cut of either of them. I think they're horrible, but theatrical, they get a pass.
Okay.
That's fair. Mm-hmm.
And Cal-El, yes, it's true, but also remember, And when it comes to the franchises, you've got your Jason, you've got your Halloween, you've got Freddy. Chucky's my number one with a bullet. Like, not even, no question. So this isn't my favorite franchise.
That's fair. It's not my favorite franchise.
What's yours?
Well, that's not. I think Kim needs to do her rankings.
Oh, see, for me, because I've never been a favorites person. I'm like, will I watch this movie when it's on, and which ones do I make time for? The original and part 2 are in my tops. I love H2O. I love H2O.
Same.
I love H2O so much.
H2O.
Love H2O.
Honestly, my least favorite. I part 6 is one that I'm like, again, there's none that I'm like, I will never watch this ever. But part 6 isn't one that I watch for fun. I watch it if I'm marathoning it. I love part 4 and 5.
I love 4.
My heart. My part 5,
4,
man.
yes.
How much I love about it. We'll talk about it now. And I'm excited.
I need you on part 5 because that's the whole thing with these streams. It's not only that I'm trying to, for some of these, I am defending the movie because I think I personally do not enjoy shitting on a film. Something that somebody worked really hard on.
Mm-hmm.
I want to champion a film, and some of these movies are harder than others because they're not my favorites.
Yeah.
You know, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 was easy because I love that movie.
Yeah.
But one that's a challenge for me is part 5. So I also want to learn from people. And if that's one of your favorites, I want to hear from you because that will help me give it another chance.
Well, and I make teen horror films, and so I have a special love for just anything where you see the heart and the trying. I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm here for this. But no, part 6 is not one I particularly care for. I don't dislike part 3, but it's not one that I usually watch as part of if I'm going through all the Halloweens. I usually skip part 3.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have the same love for it. I know some people hardcore love it. I don't.
It's getting a reevaluation as of late.
It's a great movie.
I gave
it 5 out of 5. I fucking love that movie.
But I don't want to watch it as part of my Halloween movies.
But
you don't
also
watch it in
Michael
Michael Myers marathon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's separated. That's fine.
It's too far removed, and so if my brain is on Michael Myers and then part 3 comes, my brain says, "What?" I will also say, Evil Dies Tonight, man. The most recent, I liked Halloween 2018. I thought Halloween 2018 was fabulous. Evil Dies Tonight, and I took a shot every time, and then I died, and I'm actually dead right now.
Okay, Kim, do me a favor. This is gonna make it so much more fun for you. Whenever they say Evil Dies Tonight, think of a rhyme for it, like seagulls fly a kite. I want to take a bite.
I do want to.
Polar bear can ride a bike. Like every time, it's fun. It's so fun.
This is going to be my new favorite game when the new one comes out.
Yes,
you know they're going to say
I wish you lived closer. We would have so much fun watching movies. I adore Kim. Kim's amazing.
She's great. I've never met you. You're awesome.
And that's one of the things I love about these streams, and that's why I try to mix up my guests, because I have a lot of different friends in a lot of different areas. But I think Jay and Kim, you guys would be good friends. If you guys don't know Strange Monkey, he's awesome. I think you guys would both love him. So
I've seen him on other people's streams. I haven't actually been on a stream with him.
He's awesome. I love him. He reminds me of the Crypt Keeper. He's got that punny humor I love.
Thank you. I was
I'm a huge
watching
fan.
some of Jay's videos. I appreciate it. I've seen some of Jay's videos during the Shark Week stuff on Bloodbath, which I thought was hilarious. And I was listening to some of your podcast actually earlier today. I think you have I think it was the Poltergeist episode. I was listening to some of it.
Yes. Yeah, the movie. Mm-hmm.
And by the way, guys, if you want to find Kim's podcast, Jay's channels, Strange Monkey's channels, they are all in this description below. I don't have people on the show that I don't watch. These are channels I am big fans of. Kim's podcast is one I listen to when I'm walking my dog. I don't miss a Strange Monkey premiere. I don't miss a Bloodbath TV premiere. These are great channels, so definitely subscribe.
I
Thank you
agree.
so much.
Check us out. We're awesome.
Absolutely. So I'm gonna open it up to the chat now. I'm
Hell
having
yeah.
really a
It's
lot of fun
time.
hanging out with you guys. We're kind of going over time, but you guys are fun. So chat, give us your questions. If you have a question for Jay or Monkey or Kim, let us know what your questions are. I love that Faye has his own rhyme. Jay Bond cries tonight.
What? Come on.
Jay has actually never cried.
Maybe just
ever,
because I'm missing you, Andrew. Come on.
except for maybe when he watched Dirty Dancing. Which, why had you never seen that?
Oh no,
What
Dirty Dancing! I
childhood
didn't
did you
cry.
have?
It was fucking. What's the other one?
What
Oh,
childhood did you have? I loved when you watched
Top
Heather's
Gun
for the first
fucking
time.
killed me though.
Top Gun, dude. When
I
I
didn't
was
know
going
about
into the
Goose.
Navy,
I didn't know
I watched
anything
that
about
all the
Goose.
time. Dude, why have you not seen a lot of movies?
So, yeah, I can just get into that. Why not? Well,
Why
we're
not?
waiting for people to fill up the fucking queue of questions. I just stopped watching normal movies. I just
Fair.
watched horror movies since I was like 10 years old.
I love how happy you are watching Roadhouse and Heather's.
1996, I basically stopped
By the
watching
way, I
all
watch
movies.
things on my TV, so I don't comment a lot, but I watched every single fucking episode of that show. I love that show.
Which
Hell
show?
yeah.
He has one on the J Bond channel where it's he watches it for the first time.
Oh,
nice.
okay.
So I don't watch I haven't watched any famous movies. Basically anything that you love, I haven't watched because I stopped watching regular movies and only watched horror since I was like 10 years old. Like there's the odd comedy like Superbad and Half Baked and shit like that, but I've never watched like Godfather, Roadhouse, Dirty Dancing, literally anything. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Oh, I bawled my eyes out. Uncle Buck I watched today.
Oh wow!
Um,
You've never seen
and
Uncle
Big-
Buck?
Yeah, I never watched any John Hughes. I've heard the name.
Oh,
So-
honey.
Oh.
I watched
remember when you
Breakfast
hadn't watched
Club, Weird
Phantasm.
Science. There's all types of stuff that I just recently watched. So that's like my whole channel is that now. That's like my main focus.
I don't know how you manage all these channels, but I love them all.
I fucking barely do it.
Jay, how many times
It's
have you
fucking-
peed into one of your empties because you were too lazy to get up?
Oh, I did get up. I even made like a huge announcement about it.
So never, guys, never.
Not once.
Jay, what is your favorite Friday the 13th movie? And that goes for all of you.
I would say like 4. I'm a big fan of like the whole Tommy Doyle, or not fucking Tommy Doyle. What's his name?
Tommy Jarvis.
Jarvis.
Jarvis
Fucking,
Sandwich.
I think like his whole plan to fucking shave his head and stuff. That shit is genius.
Genius. Last minute.
Monkey, what
You know,
about
like
you?
I'm
Favorite
not
Jay-Z
thinking of
movie?
that shit. Not a chance.
It used to be 3, then 4, now it's 6.
I love 6.
Oh, 6 is actually really, really good.
And
too.
unpopular opinion, I love the remake. I think they did a fantastic job with the remake.
It's
I love
good.
6 and the remake a lot.
Okay.
I'm a huge fan of the remake as well. It's
Remake is good.
it's in my top 5 probably.
Oh wow.
But like 4 and
It did a lot of shit, but I felt it was made with a lot of attention to detail.
I
4
can see
and
that.
6
Yeah.
are the ones.
I
Like, those
love
are the ones
6.
that I'm always like between as far as like which one's
And
my
I
favorite.
know it has its flaws, but I love 2 because Ginny is my all-time
Oh yeah.
favorite final.
That's
girl.
Yeah.
is
I
that
did-
Amy Steele?
Yes.
The smartest.
She's the best final girl.
I love her so much.
Easy.
Kim, what about you?
Again, I love the franchise, so this is one that I don't think there's one in the whole franchise I don't like. I do very much enjoy part 3 because I like that's where we get.
That's like my dead last, but yeah, I'm popular.
I like origins and stuff, but I have a weird place in my heart. And again, I don't know what it is. I have a weird place in my heart for some of the really wretched ones. And part 8, man, Jason.
I
Wretched
love 5,
ones.
and people hate 5.
I love Jason Takes Canada and part 10.
10.
I love part 10 because
I love
Hey.
10.
He
Yeah.
can take it all he wants.
Yeah.
It's fine.
3, I feel like it was kind of, I don't know. I used to really like it. Now I feel like it's kind of cheap, kind of phoned in, but I change my opinions every fucking time I rewatch these.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's just it.
I'm with you guys.
But
on
I
that.
don't hate any of them, just like Halloween, it's just.
Yeah.
Some
I
of them
like
is
them less. but I
Guys,
still like them.
Halloween
Like I still have a fun
Resurrection
time.
or Halloween 5. I'm gonna say Resurrection.
Oof. Resurrection, easy.
Halloween 5 for me.
I need to get you on that stream because right now, with the Halloween movies, the clown sounds, the cops, Tina, I got my issues with that, but I want to hear from somebody who loves that movie.
5.
Why?
Hell yeah, brother.
Would you say, Monkey?
I said Halloween 5
Why?
because that movie, like, it was
We're
rushed.
split
but I find
top to bottom
it's
here. What the heck?
because I think had they had more time to film that and they didn't rush it after the success of number 4, it could have been a lot more better. And with all this new footage that they've been finding recently, like the what was it, Dr. Death with the voodoo guy and all that, and I'm
That
like,
was supposed to be Howard Stern.
Yeah.
really?
Mm-hmm.
And
They wanted to
there's
get
a
him,
lot
but he
of
wouldn't do it.
I want that police station footage, the shootout, so bad. I want to see that.
Like, you know
With
when you go to like a place like the Empire State Building and there's somebody there who knows all these stupid facts? That's how I am with movies. So I have loads of boring facts with all these Halloween movies.
We're all full of all this information, and there's nothing wrong
I'm
with
filled
that.
with just whiskey only.
I'm filled with these Samuel Adams Oktoberfest.
I
Kim,
have the worst memory for everything.
where did
so.
you get your Nicolas Cage pillow?
Oh, my fabulous Nicolas Cage pillow. Yes. It was a gift, but she got it on Etsy.
Fave kill, everyone on the panel. I think we talked about this earlier. Mine would be the tripod kill.
Mm-hmm. I like the head down the stairs. I love a good head down the stairs.
Mine was Rudy with the knives and the third knife.
Monkey?
Mine was.
I love when
Jim's
his
head
bad
crush.
eye is like moving all around. He's got that bad eye, you know, on the right.
Whoa!
Yeah.
It
But
really
I'm-
pops though.
Don't let
Holy
anyone ever shame you about that because I think it's beautiful. It's a beautiful shade of brown. You are gorgeous. I wish I looked as good as you. Yeah. I love how you have one blue eye, one brown.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Gorgeous.
Heterochromia, I'm for it.
Bless you.
Big fan.
I'm gonna have to take this.
Jay, have you seen Jurassic Park?
Yes.
Monkey, is there a big horror scene in Florida?
Oh.
Somewhat, I would say.
You got Spooky Empire and stuff, right?
I love 16 Candles. 16 Candles used to be my
Yeah.
favorite movie of all
I
time.
was
It
just watched
hasn't
that one.
aged well,
Yeah.
but I
It's
do
not
love
aged
it.
well. No.
Jay, have you seen the original Ninja Turtles?
Yeah.
Yes.
Good.
Good.
Yes, I have.
And somebody asked you if you'd seen the Rocky movies.
No.
Okay, Jay, here's
They are
the
on
deal.
my list.
Jay,
I've been
I'm gonna make a proposition for a collab with you. I've never seen the Rocky movies either, and
Me
I get shit about it all the time, and Kim hasn't. So, oh my god, you either, Monkey?
Yes, I have. I've seen them all.
Oh, you
I was
have.
just shocked.
Okay. So
When
if
Kim
you
said
want to
hasn't.
collab on that, you got Kim.
I'm
and
not
I
collabing on
both
my
either.
reactions. Just because I don't
Fair
want people
enough.
to assume that I'm going to have a guest every time, because then they're just going to want a guest every time.
That's
And then it's one of my things is just, even John is like, hey, I want to watch that with you. I'm like, no, you fuck off. This is my thing, because if
love
you're
him
going to
and
have a
his
bunch
man
of
bun.
babies and shit, I need an out. I need an out for YouTube. Okay? Get the fuck out of here.
That's the most Canadian you've ever sounded.
Oot,
Like ever.
oot.
An oot for YouTube. I love it. Is it true? I have a question for you. Is it true that Canadians are super into space?
I don't give a fuck about space.
What about robots?
No. I hate sci-fi. I've never even watched sci-fi movies. Here's one. It's going to blow your fucking mind.
Canadians super into that punani.
That's a fact. But Alien.
You've never seen it?
Nope. I only watched
Okay.
Predator like 2
You are
weeks ago.
killing me here. Alien's like a masterpiece.
That hurts me personally.
That hurt
I get
me
it. I get
too.
it. So I've avoided a few things, and I think it's pretty relevant. I think it's like, if people looked at our channel, they would realize like what I hate, and it's paranormal stuff, Vampire stuff. Not that I hate. I just am not a fan of.
What about Lost Boys? Fright Night.
Haven't seen either of those.
Oh
They're
my
coming up.
God!
They're coming. Oh no, I saw Fright Night and I saw the remake.
Fright
That's
Night's
the
my
one with the
favorite.
guy next
Not
door.
the remake.
Yes,
that the one
guy
that-
next door.
Yes.
Okay, I saw that one. Lost Boys haven't seen. Got it confused with Stand By Me, which I also haven't seen because I
What?
saw like a train thing. Or I don't know.
Kim, I'm totally I'm with you right now. Like, what the fuck?
Bram Stoker's Dracula, Vampire, Dracula Dead and Loving It, and Vampire in Brooklyn. Those are all on my list for as far as vampire movies.
Okay,
are
Lost
concerned.
Boys and Fright Night significantly higher in importance.
They're all
You're
coming.
hurting me.
They're all
My
coming.
soul is hurt right now.
Alien. I know that I saw bits. Like,
Alien. What kind of
so
parents did you have?
I know the Chest Buster, and I know certain
What
aspects
are
of
parents
the
like
other.
in Canada?
My parents were not around, so they didn't give a shit what I was watching. I was watching like porn and stuff.
What the fuck? My mom doesn't make me watch it.
I was too busy watching Showgirls all day.
Showgirls sucks. Danny loves Showgirls though.
You chose
That's what
that
we're
over
calling
the Lost Boys.
Yo, I just watched a bunch of weird shit.
You're hurting my heart right now.
I didn't watch Alien. I just didn't like sci-fi whatsoever. So sci-fi is basically out the door, and vampire movies, like I basically just didn't watch.
All right, I'm gonna check in with the chat when we're done. We're gonna call it a night. Thank you. I am in the face of horror competition, and I did move on to round 2. A lot of people are in that, so hopefully they did too. Kim, did you? I don't know if you did it or not. I did it. I was in the top 20. So if you want to vote for me, I have links on all the social media things.
Ooh.
So that's cool. I can't wait until Jay watches the Rocky movies. I will probably watch them too. I got the hiccups. Monkey, what's your favorite filming location you'd most like to visit?
Ooh.
Same for all of you.
The Halloween house. I think it's a bed and breakfast now.
It's like a
It
dentist
is.
office.
It used to be a dentist office. Now it's something else. I have pictures.
it's-
I'll post on my Instagram.
Or is it the Texas Chainsaw House? That's a bed and breakfast. One of those. Things.
I think it's the Texas Chainsaw House.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I would totally stay at a bed and breakfast. The Texas Chainsaw.
Filming a location I want to visit. I've always wanted to see Buffy's house. It's in California. It's really close to where they filmed the high school. We weren't able to get to it when I went to California, but I hope someday I get to.
I'd like to go to the cemetery for Night of the Living Dead.
Ooh,
That's awesome.
nice.
I'd like to go to that. Yeah. I like cemeteries. They're fun.
I also want to go to the location where they shot Jeepers Creepers, because they shot that here in Florida, and there's
Very
certain
cool.
places that were somewhere in Central Florida, and every time I would watch it with my mom, she's like, "They filmed this out here. I know they filmed this out here." I was like, "This looks so familiar." I was like, "Yeah, you're
Isn't
right."
it cool how movies become part of your like town's lineage? Like when they filmed Surviving the Game, part of it in my town, and like people still talk about that.
It's always
Jay,
interesting.
any in Canada or elsewhere? You ever leave
Nothing
Canada?
in Canada that I really care for. Scream House, I would love to go to. That's an Airbnb now,
That's one I want to see.
so I want to go to that. And that's pretty much all I'd really care. Like I went and saw the Halloween stuff, but that's the main one. I really love Scream, and
I'd love to see
the Scream
that.
House.
I did go to a cool 90s museum in LA that was really
Ooh,
cool. And they
cool.
recreated a lot of the Scream sets, so that was cool.
Oh yeah,
my
I saw pictures on Instagram.
Yeah, it was really fun. My mother says Kim is her hero because she has not left her chair once. Sorry, Mom, I have to pee.
Everybody does that stuff there.
It's fine.
Oh my
The
god!
theater kid. I'm used to having to just tough it out. So
Part 6 is Faye's fave. Part 2 is the best, but 4 is neck and neck for Entertainment Wizard.
That's fair. Okay.
Probably never going to talk a lot of sci-fi unless we talk about Alien on here. Give Monkey something to drink. He looks dehydrated, Mom. That's just his face. Sorry, she's very British. All right, she's very British and she's a boomer. Mom, that's just his face. Like,
No. In her defense, last night I didn't even sleep that much. I had Monster Energy and I was drained, and I'm like,
Oh,
I have to
dehydration
have.
is ill.
It's like I need
Ill
to have it.
This is what Monster Energy does to you, guys. Watch out. Check your guarana levels or whatever.
You
the fuck.
need water.
It
You
drains
need
me.
water or like a juice or something. My
I've got
my
water
mother
over
is
here.
worried about you. My mother
I've
is
got
worried
water.
about you.
No, look, I've got water right over here. The thing is, it looks weird because I have to pull my mask down and do this.
Oh, I don't like it when I see your inner mouth. It reminds me of like a xenomorph.
Yeah.
Kind of grosses me out.
Never heard of it.
My girlfriend laughs at me. Every time I do it, my girlfriend laughs at me. She's like, it's so weird when you pull your mask down on live streams. I'm like, it is
Yeah,
what it
your
is.
inner mouth freaks me out. Your outer mouth is very handsome though. So there's
Thank you.
You're welcome. Sorry about getting my Dr. Pepper. Sorry, no, never. Dr. Pepper is the best. It's fucking awesome.
It's important.
Mummy movie is the best. She found me beneath a gooseberry bush, and if we're not for that, I wouldn't be here today. Have y'all seen Alice Sweet Alice? Actually, no, I haven't.
I have not seen it.
Ages ago.
I've seen the
you know
poster.
the poster
I
is
haven't
much
seen the
more
movie.
I want to see. It's got a cool mask.
It's got a cool mask. Because I
Is
do
that the
my
see-through mask with the raincoat or whatever?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So we
It's
all
one I'm-
know.
It's one
We all
you're like
know.
familiar with, but I've never seen it.
Yeah.
I
Interesting.
watched it for the
As a
first
kid.
time during my 100 Days of Horror because I do my 100 horror films I've never seen in the 100 days leading up to Halloween. And that was one I didn't see till last year. It was part
Is
of
it
100
good?
Days of Horror.
Okay.
I dug it. I mean, yeah, I dug it. I thought it was fun. It was worth the watch. Mm-hmm.
Danny,
My
absolutely.
husband wants to come stay at your house if he's ever in the area. Is that okay?
Absolutely. I just need warning so I can clean.
Can I come too?
Oh, I would imagine.
Fuck
You
yeah.
can't bring your
boss.
kid and your dog or anything. Come on.
Dude, I'm not gonna bring my kid. Like, you even have a backyard for him to poop?
He's got COVID. He's got fucking Count Chocula or whatever the fuck you were saying. I don't know.
Chicken pot pie. He has chicken pot pie. I have
Oh,
Count
chicken
Chocula.
pot pie. Sorry.
Actually, I'm out of Count Chocolate. I only have fruit root right
where
now.
did
because-
where did Count Chocula come from? It's
I was
always been
trying to
a
come up with some food that started with C.
Are you all right over there,
All right.
man?
I'm hammered. I'm
Alien
fucked.
is incredible. Jay hasn't seen a lot of stuff, guys. It would be too long to
Yeah,
list.
I can't listen.
Alien doesn't suck. My brother just doesn't know. Kim is very funny. Alien is the best. Bram Stoker's Dracula is not overrated. Faye's just in a mood. It's really good. Seriously, Gary Oldman's sexy in that movie. I had to see Showgirls because I needed to see Jesse Spano naked.
Hell yeah, brother.
I think that's the same thing with my husband.
I watched it
He loves that
recently.
movie.
I watched
why
it
I
like
watched
2
it.
weeks ago.
My husband loves that movie. Wow, Gory, I don't know. Congrats,
I
my
get it.
girl. Thank you. Whatever I'm being congratulated for makes me happy. Which YouTubers inspired us? For me
That's a great
and
question.
Danny, we used to watch a lot of Black Nerd comedy, and we were like, whoa, because he talks like pretty kind of like us about like 80s and 90s nostalgia. And we didn't know a lot of horror channels, so we thought it would be cool to do a horror channel kind of like Black Nerd comedy. So that's initially what inspired us. But I also am a big Dr. Wolfula fan. I used to watch Bloodbath and Beyond back in the day. I entered their contest back in the day before Jay and I were friends. Stitch Together Pics. I like a lot of YouTubers. What about you guys?
I'd say Dr. Wolfula. We watched the movie Stitch
yeah.
Together Pics, and of course Joe Bob Briggs. Another
Yes, Joe
inspiration.
Bob!
Yes.
Because people were assuming online that he was dead, and
What?
what are you guys talking about? And because I
Nope.
didn't know, when I was a kid, I didn't even know about Joe Bob. He would do this stuff. I know it just was
You're
past my
young.
bedtime.
It's okay. It's
I get
okay.
that.
No,
I get
I
that.
can tell by your
It
skin
was
that
late.
you're very young.
His stuff was late at night. You know what I mean? So it's like most kids had to go to sleep by 8 or 9 o'clock, and I completely missed Joe Bob.
I never
So,
sleep.
On Facebook, people would talk about, hey, who remembers this guy? And it's this guy with the TNT logo. And I'm like, who is this guy? It's Joe Bob Briggs. And I looked him up on YouTube. And I'm like, how did I miss this? I don't understand. And people were assuming that he was dead. And then he pops up in recent interviews. I'm like, what the fuck are people talking about? He's alive.
He's
And then-
amazing.
Hell yeah.
Watch The Last Drive It on Shudder.
Love it.
Of course, I watched it. When
Kim
it
and
was
I like to live tweet
We live
during
tweet.
those. Kim's hilarious, so follow her on Facebook. You can vote for me and Danny on Facebook for the Face of Horror. My brother Zigma, who's an alien, wants to know, Strange, if you got to live in one horror franchise, what would it be?
Halloween, because I feel like I'd be able to stop Michael. I'd have
Nice. What about,
to.
Mr.
Karate
Fake?
kick the motherfucker out the window.
Jay, Kim, what about you?
Hold on, I wanna answer the one that which YouTubers I watched.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
Because at the time, there were not a lot of horror YouTubers. So I started in 2013, and there was like maybe, I would say less than 10 that did just horror movies. And so fucking ingenious. He's not around anymore, but that guy was awesome. He was the first person that kind of showed me that green screen can be a thing. And I watched him a lot.
I remember when I found out that your background was green screen, I felt like my life was a lie.
Hell yeah. Eric was a great guy, and like we hung out all the time doing live streams afterwards. Like it was really cool to meet him after the fact. But he was like a big inspiration. The 13th Wolfman. He's still doing his thing. I'm pissed that he didn't blow up like he should have. Sean C. Phillips, I watched him like so much. He was just
He's
like
making
reviewing.
movies now.
Yeah, now he's making movies. He's doing the Amityville Karen. Like that's his movie. Like the fuck. What?
He is in a ton of movies too, like in the background.
Yes, one of the first movies we ever watched on the whole channel was Girls Gone Dead, and he was one of the bigger guys in that movie. And he's like, I love blowjobs more than D&D. And we would quote that between each other like all the time. And we eventually just like loved this guy. So we would seek him out as like the cameo in movies.
He's in so many.
And then eventually we just like started talking to him and stuff. And now he's a fucking director. He's made like 4 movies in the last year. Like it's really cool to see Sean C. Phillips go through such a weird transition and become who he is now. And he lost like 300 pounds along the way.
He did. That's an inspiration right there.
So it was like those 3 people that I watched the most. Obviously, Cinemassacre, like we watched the Angry Video Game Nerd.
Well, yeah.
When coming up with
I
our
forgot
name,
that one.
it was like, all right, Cinemassacre is the best name. So how can we make a pun that includes horror stuff?
I always like that because I used to work at Bed Bath & Beyond.
Mm-hmm.
Actually,
I
used
worked
to
in the
call it
Beyond
that.
section.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at now. I'm at the Beyond section. I'm done with the Bloodbath section. You know?
And I can't remember what question we were answering. Did everybody answer everything they wanted to answer?
Probably.
Yeah,
Was
I
it
just
the-
went
Probably.
back to an old one. I think we're on the question.
Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, I love critters.
Yeah,
I
Critters
love
is
critters so much. You guys have seen my little critter. Where is he anyway?
Oh,
Would you-
I was
do you have one?
someone bring up critters.
Hell
Check this
yeah.
out. Check this out.
Oh, he's a good
I'm
one.
so
Oh,
upset when I
that's
played
awesome.
roller derby. One of the girls on the other team, she said that her uncle was one of the special effects guys, and she had a critter. She's like, it was all slimy and gross. I put it in my garage, and she said if she ever finds it, I can have it. But it's been like 6 years.
My
That's
uncle
gorgeous.
made this from a 3D printer, painted it, and then put the hair on it.
That
was
is
like,
No
gorgeous.
way.
That's really
Yeah.
cool.
It's amazing.
Did you watch the new one?
That's the one with Dee Wallace, right?
Yeah, the Critters Attack one.
Yeah, that was
I
okay.
liked that one.
I wasn't sure how people like that. Like, I haven't seen all of them. I think I've only seen the first 2. I skipped 3, maybe 4,
I've only
and then saw
seen
like the newer one.
I saw the first one and the short one on Shudder and Critters Attacks. That's it. So I have to rewatch all of those.
I love all the
Well,
Critters. That's one we're gonna have to do eventually. But Critters a new binge. I didn't like how short the episodes were, but they were really good. Entertainment Wizard. I don't know why you were blocked for 5 minutes, but I've made you a moderator, so hopefully that fixes it. My brother wants to know, Jay, what franchise should go to space next?
Ooh. Oh, I love this. Oh. Scream. What are we talking about? What do you mean? I'm just thinking of like the good
I'm
franchises.
going with my husband's idea, which is Texas Chainsaw Massacre, so they can say, Houston, we have a problem.
Ooh, okay. I like that.
What?
Imagine the Sawyers in space.
Yes!
That's the style right
That's
there.
actually way better than Scream. I just said my favorite, like, up to bat. Let's go. I just want more Scream movies. That's
I
it.
do.
So
That was how you and I met. Was a Scream panel.
Yes, that's true. What about you, Kim? What do you want to see go to space?
I mean, only because I feel like it would be appropriate. I would live for Chucky in space because I'm kind of surprised they
oh
haven't.
yeah, you're right. That's the one.
I love
That's
Chucky,
actually
come
the
on.
most
You know I love
accurate
Chucky.
answer.
Apparently my mummy wants to adopt Monkey. Apparently adopting me was not enough. Kim, who is the best horror cat?
Oh, so the cat in The Uninvited.
Oh my
I
god, it's
want-
my favorite B movie ever. I have the autograph on my wall. His name's like Lot something something something. I can never remember, but he's so precious.
I want to take him with me and
You
love
have an
him.
autograph of a
and-
cat?
I'll show you.
Yeah, what the fuck are you talking about?
For a moment, I thought you were going to pick Clovis from Sleepwalkers.
Oh,
There
Wait,
it is.
whose autograph is that?
So this is Graydon Clark, who made Uninvited, which is my favorite B movie. This cat is like experimented on in a science lab. When it gets threatened, it pukes up a smaller mutant cat and runs around and bites people.
Yeah,
and then
it's
you get poisoned. And if it licks your food, that's poisoned. It's the best.
It's amazing.
I need
awesome.
this in my life.
It's amazing. It's on
You've
Shudder.
never seen this? It's my favorite.
No.
Seriously, I watch it when I'm sick. I watch it when I'm sad. I watch
Alright,
it when
so-
I'm bored.
Sci-fi,
Uninvited
Is it on Shudder?
alien,
It's on
vampires,
Shudder,
and
yeah.
cat movies.
Okay.
I will agree though. Church is also a great horror cat. Like prior to seeing The Uninvited, I probably would have
Oh,
said
yeah.
Church, but
This
Church
one.
from Pet Cemetery. But yeah, The
Uninvited.
Mwah.
Okay.
Cat pukes up a smaller cat. It's so good. It's the best ever.
That's something you would never guess. Are you
so good. I
kidding
need
me?
to cover that on my channel.
There's a little cat inside that other
great.
cat.
Yeah, there's a small cat inside this cat, and it pops out and it runs around and does crazy stuff.
It's amazing.
But does the
it's
normal
on a
cat do
boat.
crazy stuff too, or just he's like, fuck, there he goes
Okay,
again.
so there's like a big orange
They're
fluffy
one.
cat, and then when it gets threatened,
Okay.
it pukes up this tiny, like
Like you
little
do.
black cat.
But I do when I'm
Yes.
hurting.
And I love because this movie's so cheap. But I ordered this online from Graydon Clark, and if you can't see it very well here, but you can tell the ink is running out in his printer, and it just says "Best wishes, Graydon Clark." And I feel like he put about as much thought into this autograph as he did in his movie.
Oh,
But I still love this
Accurate.
fucking movie so much. I love this
okay.
movie.
I need to see.
I think
it.
they should have called it Hairball instead of Uninvited, though.
Yeah, Uninvited doesn't really. I always think it's like a vampire movie, except it's obviously not.
Right, that's what it sounds
Yeah,
like.
with that
Yeah.
title, you wouldn't even know it's about cats.
No, you'd have no idea.
Maybe
They
that's why I
wants a
never
movie
watched. it.
about Michael Myers in space. Danny loves Alice, Sweet Alice. Mummy Bee movie. Tatum wants you to be her mom too. She looks for children beneath the gooseberry bush. So that's how she found me. Hide beneath the gooseberry bush. My mommy might adopt you. I don't know. Count Chocula, we don't have any money for health food Beavis. That's true. We don't have any money for fucking vegetables. The Saved by the Bell has made that movie canon for Jesse. It's true. They have. Hey, Gory and crew, long time no see. Maverick, you're just a treasure. You are a treasure. Is Kim on YouTube? I'll visit everyone on the panel after the live. If you look in the description down below, I've got all of Jay's channels. I've got Ghoulish. Remind me of the name of it.
Ghoulish tendencies.
Ghoulish Tendencies. Kim's podcast is in the chat. And Strange Monkey Reviews is in the chat. So definitely, I highly recommend all of these channels. Andre the Black Nerd is awesome. Dun, dun, dun. Yes, that is Strange Monkey's channel. Dun, dun, dun. I'm looking
Thank
for
you.
questions. Looking for
How
questions,
fucking
monkey.
far back are you? Because Andre the Black Nerd wasn't mentioned for like 15,
You know
20
what, Jay?
minutes.
Jay,
Just
maybe
saying.
not judge people who have smaller channels than you. Monkey has a face only a mummy could love. I'm sure his mummy loves him very much. You're supposed to love me. Remember? God, now she loves you more than me.
She's
She
your
loves
mummy
Glenn
now.
from Chucky more than me. Ugh, it's not even fair. Stop being so ridiculously cute and stuff and making my mummy love you more. It's like you come here with your flashy teeth and your flashy eye and you just think you can steal people's mummies.
This is not
Serves
my
me right
fault.
from- You know what?
This
Maybe
has-
I'll never have you on a stream again, okay?
It's your deep
Okay?
cheekbones.
Yeah, you're trying to steal my money from me and being more cute than me on my own show. Jay's got Pabst Blue Ribbon. It's not even fair. Great. You guys just trying to show me up my own show. Corey, can you send me a PM, please? I will post a link. And I'm glad you love your shirt. Church is the best horror cat. Mom, that's not true. Because something is the best horror cat. I also love Clovis. Great
I
and
say
cartloads and
Clovis.
joysticks. Joysticks
Yo, was
is not as
Tatum
good as
just
Undivided.
banned? Tatum was banned? What the hell just happened?
What happened?
Somebody banned Tatum.
I didn't do it.
Well,
Why
all
me?
her
I
messages
didn't do
have been
anything.
deleted.
I didn't do it. It says it's by me, and I didn't do it.
I disagree.
How did I do it?
Literally, everybody will disagree with you.
How did I was okay?
Just rude.
I'm in StreamYard. Oh no, Tatum! If I blocked you, which apparently I did, I'm sorry. Shit, I'm blocking people I don't mean to. Why does it say deleted? I didn't do it.
Hey, Andrew
Seriously.
Faye, by the way, I miss you. I miss you, bud.
What about? I am not drunk. Okay, I am not blocking people. I didn't block Entertainment Wizard, and I didn't block Tatum. My brother's like, Tatum's a friend, Corey.
It's just rude.
Why'd you delete fucking Andrew?
I didn't. Where is
Somebody
Andrew?
did. He is deleted.
How?
You fucking clicking around too much, man. Fuck.
Oh my God! What? No, Tatum hit him. Okay, that's not even me. No, it says
Hey.
I am now. I think I have like hacker or something. Because I'm in StreamYard. I'm not even looking at the actual real life chat.
Oh man.
Well,
Well,
fucking
What
At
can
Andrew.
we
that
do?
point of the stream.
This is the saddest thing ever. Okay, I'm sorry if you were accidentally blocked.
Well, I love
Now
you
I'm
guys.
apparently bad.
Can you unblock Faye?
I'm trying to. He's in there for 30
Great
seconds.
guy.
I can't even do it, and it's my stream.
Big fan.
Okay, I think I got it. I made him a moderator.
You just can't make everybody moderators just because you unban them, for the record. But it's your fucking channel. I don't give a shit. Maybe it's one of the other guys that you unbanned, made a fucking moderator, he starts banning everybody else.
This is so bad. Like on
He has
Freaky
a
Girls
point.
Live, I'm always accidentally muting people, and now I'm apparently banning people. I didn't mean
Wow.
to. I'm not very good with StreamYard. Oh shit! I dropped my mouse.
mistakes happen like that one.
But do 5 mistakes happen in a row? Come on.
It's a lot of judgment happening right now. A lot.
All right, so let's
Love ya.
summarize. Since we've answered all our questions and we're reaching the end, what are our final thoughts on Halloween Resurrection? If somebody says it's the absolute worst, I'll never watch it again. What do you have to say to this person?
You're lying.
You're wrong. You're wrong. You're absolutely wrong.
Like I said before, I went through a period of time where I did not like the movie, and I forgot it existed for a while. But I do appreciate it for what it is, and it's not the worst movie in the world if you watch it with friends and you have a good time. You don't take it seriously. It's a fun movie.
Yeah.
Like Jason X.
Like Jason X.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, look at it for what it is in terms of, and when it came out, and
a different
kind
time.
of lean into that and embrace it. Yeah, it's a different time, and go in I guess anytime you go in with certain expectations, yeah, you're probably going to get disappointed. So just enjoy it for a silly, fun movie and give it another shot.
And I would
Definitely.
basically repeat all of that because I like it more rewatching it. Like, I don't really remember my feelings from back in the day, but I assume I hated it as well. And I think a lot of people that do hate it just, watch the whole franchise and then realize, you know what? This isn't the worst. Have you seen 5? Have you seen 5?
Uh-oh.
You're upsetting him. I will say,
Let's go.
after H2O, this was disappointing for me because I loved H2O so much.
I loved H2O.
But this movie is fun, and if you don't compare it to the other movies, it doesn't need to be a competition. You can enjoy it for what it is, and it's a fun beer and pizza movie.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And a couple more questions. Best independent movie. This is rapid fire. Rapid fire.
Ooh.
Quick.
What are we calling an independent
Pieces of
movie?
talent.
It's like, technically, Texas
Nobody's
Chainsaw.
talking about Pieces of Talent. It's a movie that nobody even talks about. It came
Fair
out in like
fire.
2014. That movie was fucking awesome. I gave it 5 out of 5, and I haven't heard a word since. It's great.
Okay.
Halloween.
Halloween's a great one. I'm going to go with that.
There was a oh man, I'm forgetting the name too. Is it Life Hacker or Life? I saw it a while ago, a couple years ago.
Yeah, it is Life Hackers from
Yeah.
my buddy from Toronto, actually.
Yeah,
Justin Connell.
I did that for 100 Days of Horror last year, the year before, and it's super indie, but I really liked it, and it was one I was like, why are more people not talking about it? It's really cool.
Life
Hell
Changer
yeah.
since then.
Life Changer, there
I
you
also
go.
really liked
Me too.
Final Girls, which not a lot of people
yes.
have seen.
Love
That's a
it.
good one.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that one. Guys, apparently the chat says I am drunk, so I should go home. Thank you so much for staying an extra hour. We got crazy. We talked about Halloween Resurrection. All of these guys are in the chat. If I banned you, don't take it personally. I just don't know how to do the things. I had fun talking to you, Entertainment Wizard, Mummy B Movie, Horror Addicts, Tatum Dom, Ben Grimm, Extron Gaming, all of you who are here. You're amazing. Thank you for watching. Big thanks to my guests here, Jay Bond, the man, the legend, the thick.
The motherfucking legend, dude.
The motherfucking legend. The OG horror man.
You heard? I got Voorhees. I got Myers, baby. Look,
True.
I'm horror legend.
True pleasure to have you. True pleasure to have Monkey, Strange Monkey, even though you tried to take my mom from me. So that wasn't cool.
Not my
But
fault.
That's fair.
I love you. My mom also loves Glenn more than me from Chucky.
Thanks for having me on.
But you're amazing. I wish I was as good looking as you. But, we can't all have
You're
everything.
amazing too.
Can't all be that blessed.
And Kim, you're a delight. You are a treat. You're like the Turkish delight that the kid sells his soul for in Narnia. Like, you're just a true delight.
Thank you.
And thank you for bringing your knowledge, your beautiful hair, and your awesome dishware.
Why, thank you. I'm excited I finally got to be a part.
Yes, all of you are welcome back anytime. Thank you so much. Links are in the description below. Everyone say your goodbyes because we are out.
Goodbye.
Alrighty. Guys, the next stream, we're not doing Sunday because it's Lawless's birthday, even though he's in quarantine. The next stream will be next Wednesday. It's going to be a good one. It's going to be H2O. It's one of my favorites. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be super fun. So, until we meet again, dun, 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 blessed be. And I need to find the end credits. A little inebriated here. All right.
They've been saying. They've been saying.
The people spoke truth.
All right. You guys. 1, 2, 3. Say goodbye with me.
Bye. I feel like.
Goodbye.